Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. That's Sancho. I'm Santi. I'm a Chargers fan. He's a bum-ass Cowboys fan. How's that season going for you? You were talking so much hype this season, and then here I am, the one decked out from head to toe. Hang on, I'm not... The one decked out from head to toe in Chargers gear, actually proud of their team, who just went to LA to watch them decimate the bum-ass Tennessee Titans. Life is good, Sancho. Can't say the same thing for you. Ooh, we them boys. Oh, this is our year. Losers. Bunch of losers over there is what you are.
Dog, how can you make a stadium where the sun blinds your players? I don't understand. They don't have architects for this reason. Did you see that? CD Lamb couldn't see the pass.
Who cares?
There's a big old sun.
Who cares? You guys are
Jerry
losers.
Jones is gonna
What, you think the Suns got it out for you? You think the rest of the players weren't dealing with the sun? You think the Suns like, oh yeah, just the Cowboys. Shut up, Sancho. Bunch of coping is what you're doing. Ooh, they're blinding our players. What do you think? The Suns got a conspiracy against just CD Lamb? Just accept that you guys suck ass.
You think the Jerry Jones is trying to figure out how to blot out the sun?
you think he goes full Mr. Burns?
Yes. Good old get the groove from the Minions, go out there. And tomorrow we steal the moon. What's your favorite Halloween costume of all time that you've ever had since you were a kid?
Ooh, man, what did I rock in Halloween? Hang on. Oh, yeah. I was... You can get more fun with adult costumes. I was Snow White. I was really, really jacked and really lean at the time. I was probably the most fit I ever was. So I've just got protruding bicep veins anywhere that I was going in the club, dressed up as little Snow White. I was Bro White specifically.
Oh, okay.
I won a costume contest as Bro White. So I went all out. I had the apple shaped purse and everything, bro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm proud. Did you eat the poison apple?
Oh, buddy, I'm always ready for that forbidden fruit.
Always. So here's my quick story. High school, sophomore year, I went to dress up as Freddy Krueger. I had a really cool mask that my uncle used to have that was like high quality, had the glove and everything, had the hat, did not have a sweater. This was before Hot Topic had the sweater. So this is what I did. I went and I got a white sweater and I got green and red spray paint. I'm not the smartest kid. I spray painted right, the stripes, but I never let it dry properly. I let it do overnight, but you know how it goes. So I tucked the mask in the sweater, and the fumes are just going up the entire night, brother. It's a different kind of RVD vibes, but I had a good buddy. Time.
No, that's good. That's good. Wait, why green spray paint?
Red and green. That's a sweater, bro.
Is it? Am I tripping? Yes. I thought it was red and black.
No, it's red and green. It's like a forest green.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. I'm not envisioning that.
Just don't Google Freddy Krueger with safe search off. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to do that.
That's fair.
Don't want to do that. Well, we're a wrestling podcast, aren't we?
We are. We are actually the coolest wrestling podcast. We are. God damn it. Coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. Folks, you could, of course, be listening to this episode 3 days earlier than everywhere else on the planet. We are available on the free feeds for you wonderful freeloaders. But again, over on the Patreon, not only would you be getting this 3 days earlier, you would be getting 5 Wrestling is Cool Match Club watch-alongs that you vote for. We also give you the Raw reviews, the Smackdown reviews, and we always kind of have parallel series going along. Sancho's got the Royal Rumble series where he's watching every single Royal Rumble in order and then ranking them as he goes. And now I'm doing that for the Undertaker streak. And Sancho, is it a fair statement to say, maybe too premature to say, that we're gonna just kind of keep this format going? We'll eventually find something else to move on to. We've already said that after the Undertaker watch along, and now after I finish ranking them leading into Mania 40, I'm going to transition into every John Cena championship victory.
So many good things coming down the pipe for the Patreon, and we're going to keep these going because I think a lot of people not only enjoy reliving past matches, but at the same time, sharing the love that we have for wrestling and reliving the moments together. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's what I'm learning for Royal Rumble review. People will come in the comments and be like, oh man, I remember 2003. This is where I was in 2003. This is what I remember from it. I did not remember this moment so clearly. So it's really cool, man. I think what the goal of the Patreon is always going to be is to give you the most content for your buck, like 100%. That's been our mantra from day one, and I think we've been championing it so well, and it's just going to keep getting better.
For sure. And I mean, we can talk about it now. So we've got some fantastic updates for the Patreon. We sat down, we decided, okay, what can we do to bring the most amount of value for what people are paying? As Sancho said, the most amount of value for your each individual hard-earned dollar. And one of the things that we realized is that we don't feel like we were giving enough value to the $15 tiers. But we wanted to increase the value of the $15 tiers. We're also increasing the value everywhere. So as you've noticed, for the $5 Patreon tier, we've just continued to add more content, and that will continue to be the case. So what we envision the $5 tier as is the content tier. You go there, you pay the $5, you get all of the content. We will never paywall content. If you pay $5, you get every single thing that we do. That's it. That's all. And we've added so many more extra series to the point that I told Sancho, I feel like we need to increase the price. Sancho's like, nah. All right. He fought tooth and nail, and I decided to concede, and we're going to keep it at $5. So you owe Sancho that one. All right. He absolutely championed you guys on that. We're not increasing the price of anything. However, for the $15 tiers, the only extra perk that we had was reading your name out loud at the end of the podcast. We're going to add an extra tier there, an extra bit of not content, but value there. Because as I said, we see the $5 tier as the content tier. We're seeing the $15 tier as the community tier. So we are launching a brand new state-of-the-art Discord community that is for the $15 patrons, where we can all have discussions about pro wrestling, but there will also be community-driven events, which is why I said this is the community tier, like our movie watch-alongs that we're going to be doing on there. From time to time, Sancho and I will actually record the podcast in a live studio, not in person, but we have a studio in the Discord that you guys are going to be able to jump in and watch the podcast be recorded live and in person. Plus an area for you to share hot takes, which is an additional thing that we're adding to the Patreon, which benefits both the $15 tiers and the $5 tiers, because we're going to have a hot takes channel in the Discord. And once a week, Sancho and I will go through your hot takes. And like I do on YouTube, we'll review and roast your hot takes in a video that's exclusive to the Patreon. That's also available for the $5 tiers. That's what I said. Every piece of content is available for the $5 as well. But again, community tier at $15 if you want to be part of the conversation beyond just Patreon. If you want to contribute to the content, if you want to spend time with Sancho and I as we watch wrestling related movies together, that's where you want to be. So if you're already at the $15 tier, stay there. It's just going to get better. If you're considering jumping from $5 to $15, now is a great time. If you're a brand new Patreon, then your options are endless. If you just want content, $5, fantastic, awesome value. If you want that extra bit of community aspect to your experience on Patreon, then the $15 is definitely where it's at. Am I missing anything here, Sancho?
No, it's going to be a place where we want you all to congregate 24/7. They hang out, talk wrestling. I mean, when Santi and I are not around, definitely the Wrestling Cool community is going to be there for you. If you guys want to, plan events and things of that sort, that will be the place to do that. And more importantly, not only we have hot takes, we've got memes as well that we're going to be able to build out to do some fun content with. And the future this is going to be the foundation for other projects, like a live version of Watching Wrestling is Cool, like a call-in show for doing Wrestling is Cool, to get your voices and yourself on the podcast, or a future content. It's all about, this is the hub that we're going to start off with and grow from bigger and better. And it's more importantly, it's more about giving value to the $15 tier while maintaining value for the content tier at the $5. And it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great time. I've worked really hard at building this, and there's going to be a little fun surprises when you get into the Discord. But it's just an extension. It's just an extension, and more importantly, giving value to that $15.
Yeah. This isn't just a Discord that Sancho and I built overnight. Like, this is got some cool technology behind it. We had to like a professional team build it out. You'll have the ability to be able to rank up depending on how active you are in the Discord. So there's going to be, incentives for being part of the conversation as well. But with the Discord, it'll allow you to be part of the content. And then we create that content, and then that content will also be available for the $5. So again, it's just more. But now there's actually a better reason beyond just making me say your funny name at the end of the podcast for the $15 patron. So $15 patrons already there. Rejoice. If you're considering jumping over, now is probably the time. Now it's probably when it actually makes sense.
And then quickly, if you're already there, make sure you link up your Patreon, add your Discord. It should automatically sync up. We worked really hard to make that flawless for you. So go to your settings on Patreon, link up your Discord account, and you should already be there. There should be the server called Wrestling is Cool, a backstage.
Yeah, I think what I'll do, I'll create a little video for I'll upload it to the Patreon telling people how to. No. Just telling people how to join the Discord. No oiling up. Yeah, it should be a good time, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Regardless of what tier you choose, we thank you for your support. If your choice is to go with none of the tiers and continue to consume the content on free feeds, that's fantastic as well. But just know there's just another world, all right? The grass is greener on the other side. Grass is greener on the other side. Dominic Mysterio, is he the new leader of the Judgment Day? Can we talk about that for a second? Is he the new leader of the Judgment Day, brother?
There's something about Dom that he's entering a new kind of swag era, right? Him walking that Mysterio beanie, I was like, oh, I gotta have that. Dude, that's a hot beanie, dude.
It almost feels like this now would be the perfect time to tell a story for him to go to prison for a day. And then he comes back like this, this guy that won't get punked by Finn Balor. This guy he's now the big dog in the yard in the Judgment Day. There was just this feeling I had that I feel like a previous Dominic Mysterio would have backed up, would have cowered behind Rhea Ripley. But this is a Dominic Mysterio that's like, no, I'm not getting punked by you, Finn Balor. You've been the loser in this group for a while. Sorry that I was actually able to beat Damian Priest, ya bum. Unlike you, who's been able to do nothing. I came closer to the World Heavyweight Championship than you, loser. Great stuff from Dom Dom.
And I think it's important, yes, Rhea, since Rhea's not there, he's allowed to step up. Rhea, I think, would have stepped in and be like, Finn, not now, right? This is not, we're supposed to be a family. Or Damian would have said that. But instead, we get Dominic standing on his own 2 feet. And I think this is the first time a wrestler's ever said fam. Did he say, right?
I think so.
He was like, it's all good, fam. I'm going to go make the match official. But I enjoy that there are certain aspects of a faction that need to be strong. And the Judgment Day need that clubhouse. And even though I make fun of it and how cheesy it is, the boys got their PlayStation 5 back again. They're playing against the War Raiders because they're going to have a match with them soon. And at the same time, it's a hangout place. But I think the reason why you think Dom is the leader is that walk-in shot they had. And Dom just had this aura about him because he had Raquel and then he had Liv. And he's like walking down the steps. And I think it's just because the tag team titles don't mean anything. So it's like, Finn, you're just, all right, you and JD, you're just, go ahead and play with your tag team titles, while Dom is going to go out there, who got screwed, by the way, for his number one contendership. I hate that.
Dude, he should have been in there making Gunther coward the way that he's cowering. It should.
Exactly.
Dude, could you imagine? There would be a trail left behind by Gunther as he shits his pants in fear of Dominic Mysterio, all right? But instead, we got screwed over by Adam Pearce, absolute bum, can't run a show.
Well, is Adam Pearce going to say anything about getting RKO'd by Randy?
Yeah, dude, he's just like, we're just moving on. All right, Seth, stop creating fights on Raw.
Look at me. I don't know, dude. If anyone in real life told me to look at me, I'm not going to stop doing what I was going to do. It's kind of strange that that's Adam Pearce's go-to, to snap the wrestlers out of it. Still, one of the worst managers of all time. Talk about chaos. I love his excuse. I just want to build chaos on Monday Night Raw, beat attraction. You're like, whatever, Adam. You suck at managing.
Dude, yeah.
Kayfabe wise.
Of course, absolutely. Kayfabe wise, worst manager ever. Outside, maybe he's a good dude. I don't know him. I just know the character. And the character,
oh, he banned
you suck at your job, character.
He banned comments, so that's a W.
That's true. That is true. Well, you know what? We're talking about the Judgment Day. Let's keep that conversation going. Let's start about talking about Damian Priest first. All right. So Damian Priest came out on Raw, confronted Gunther. He had I guess, a more confident promo style. Meanwhile, Gunther is showing signs of cracking, like doubt and concern. And I'll say this, all right? For all of the problems that I had with Gunther versus Cody Rhodes, not the result, not anything like that. I just had a problem with the fact that like nothing was going to matter from the result. That to me was always the big problem. I think they found something. You know what? They're building off of something, even if it doesn't continue to build Cody Rhodes and Gunther. They're using this to, at the very least, develop the Gunther character and add more layers and dimensions to it. I will say, I don't know that it necessarily needed more layers and dimension. I don't think that anyone was asking for that, but it's interesting. And I'm curious because Gunther was doing such a great job of building himself as a recognizable character in the WWE, as opposed to just being this Terminator, I'm a wrestler, Sancho type of guy, right? Like, but now we're seeing, okay, he isn't just this unstoppable Terminator. This is actually like a dude who's got layers of complexity, who's now dealing with issues of self-esteem because he used to be this unstoppable guy that no one could step up to. And now all of a sudden that aura was torn down. And I think it's adding interesting layers. That's not much more I can say than that right now, but I just appreciate that it's not just like nothing happened after Gunther versus Cody Rhodes.
I think just to jump on quickly on Damian before I switch to Gunther, I think Damian Priest, we've been asking for this Damian Priest for a while, though, this more New York vibe. Like, let me see that upbringing come out, and it definitely came out. And I feel like that's when he's at his most natural state, where he's able to listen. And when it comes to acting, not only you got to say your lines, but you got to listen. But I think if Damian Priest is trying to pretend that he's just all rise, I'm the leader of the Judgment Day, he doesn't come off as pure when someone else is telling him something. He can't react naturally to it because he's all up in his own business in his head. But when he came out there kind of ripping off the riff and just saying like, come on, Gunther, you know what's going to happen to you. You come up and you step up to me, I'm going to lay you out. Like, that's the kind of stuff I like to see. And it's something that I think Jacob Fatu excels in the most, is that when he says something, he means it and you believe it because he's saying it from something deep within. Now to jump on Gunther, I feel like this is a Cobra Kai of Gunther. This is Cobra Kai of Gunther, bro.
This is Mohawk Gunther right now.
Yes,
he was so powerful, so confident, and now something has shaken that confidence. I love it.
Yep, dude. This is it. This is what we're getting. We're getting these layers of no longer black and white heels versus baby faces. We're getting the nuance of Gunther. And maybe there's people out there who want to see Gunther back, restored his prestige. But I think it's interesting to see that the WWE is attacking a wrestler at their psyche, at their core of do they have doubt or do they believe in themselves? And that's an interesting wrinkle to add to a heel. And the dominant heel is, do they believe? I'm trying to think of other examples of cinema where the villain doubts themselves. And I think it's just either could go two ways. Either he doubts himself and he becomes a better person, or he doubts himself and becomes scarier. Like he leans into more evil heel tactics, because before he's been a heel, but he's never been a heel that has been leaning into the heel tactics.
Yeah, he just backs it up and kicks your ass.
Right. And he has Lowood Kaiser. Like when I think about it, when he went up against Sheamus, he had Kaiser take out the legs. Yes, he got Giovanni beat up, but I'm talking about more dastardly things, like maybe a foreign object. Maybe he's in so much doubt that he leans into hitting someone with a metal chair. That kind of things that, rather than being a heel in the shadows, he becomes a heel in the ring in the bright lights.
I do like that, actually. Because this is kind of the only way to show vulnerability for a character like Gunther, because he's so dominant physically. For them to all of a sudden say that he's not as physically dominant wouldn't be something that'd be easy to buy into. But, you know, tearing down at the psyche of somebody, I can believe that. That I can believe. I mean, there's a reason sports psychologists exist, right? It took so long for somebody like Derrick Rose to really get that mojo going after his major injury, because the psyche wasn't fully there. There's the most professional of professional athletes. They go through slumps, and most of the time it's not physical, it's this mental block that they have that's preventing them from getting back to where they were before. And I like and appreciate this approach for Gunther, because it's the only believable one.
Question, but do you believe that is Damian Priest that he's afraid of? That was the one thing Damian, I was on board with Damian. I was vibing with Damian. I like the intensity. And then he says, you're afraid that I could beat you. You have doubt that you can beat me. I'm like, oh, there it is. There's the kind of hiccup in the entire angle.
I think you could definitely make the argument yes or no either way about Damian specifically, but I think it's a definitive yes, I believe it, that it's Damian simply because of the storyline that already exists with how SummerSlam went about. You know, I could totally see a world where Gunther, you know, he's running around with his World Heavyweight Championship, but there's something in the back of his mind saying, you didn't actually win this. You didn't actually earn this. And this goes back to what I was saying, that I think that the early portions of Gunther's championship reign is just Triple H removing all the monkeys off the back of Gunther, right? Removing Randy Orton, the guy he didn't actually beat clean. Removing Sami Zayn, the guy that actually beat him. And now removing Damian Priest, the guy that he never beat clean for the championship. I think it's just removing all of those hurdles that will now allow Gunther to go into a proper championship reign against people that we haven't seen before and go into every single one of those championship defenses as legitimate a champion as you could possibly have.
Is this a safe place?
God. Oh, Sancho, just go. Yeah, go. What?
Imagine if Lana was still around. And she is that person that retaps into Gunther's psyche to let him know that he's still a beast and that he's a killer. Gunther, crush. Oh, dude. Come on, dude. Just to rekindle the fire within Gunther. You want Gunther to do it himself? I miss Lana, dude. She was cool, man. Remember she'd go, Rusev, crush. That'd be sick, dude. It's an old hat, sure. But I miss Lana. Come on. Give me that. Safe place, right? Safe place.
Sancho,
place. Yes.
Look,
do you love it?
Listen, not only do I love it, but I think that was the single worst idea that you've ever had on this podcast. It was such a bad idea that I lost brain cells in the process of listening to that. It was so bad that we lost half of our patrons. It was such a bad idea that most of the people that were listening to this podcast turned off the YouTube video or stopped listening on Spotify or Apple Music, or dare I say even Google Play. That's how bad of an idea that was. It was such a bad idea that I'm contemplating just leaving this podcast right now. So is it a safe place? Sure. But it's a place with consequences nonetheless for terrible ideas. And that, Sancho, was the single worst idea that I've ever heard in my life. It was horrible. Terrible. What's the connection? Oh, European with an accent? European with an accent? Oh, yeah. Marry them together, baby. That's a great idea.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bring back what is it? What do they have?
The League of Nations?
The League of Nations.
Oh God. The League.
Oh yeah. Hey man, Imperium needs some help, brother. Put Rusev back in Imperium. Woo-hoo. Come on, dude. Granted, Lana and Rusev are not together again, but that's what happens when you're not in the WWE.
You get divorced? It's your relationships just don't work out unless you're in the WWE.
I'm just saying, it'd be exciting to put Gunther in a new wrinkle. You know, lean into more of this. I don't think they will. I feel like the WWE is in a kind of weird, like in and out type of things with some of their stories, so they don't fully dip into this. And I don't think they're gonna. Are you comfortable with Gunther going down this spiral?
I am.
That would be interesting. Where he's like a 5 o'clock shadow. He's like bum ass Gunther, right? Going through so
I like that. I like that. Right? Can I come up with an even worse idea than your Lana one?
You sure?
What
this is the same
place? We just love giving terrible ideas. What if it's Chad Gable and American Made that retrained Gunther?
Bad.
They reach because, like, I mean, it was Chad Gable that trained Sami Zayn to beat Gunther. What if he somehow bum ass Gunther, bags under his eyes, 5 o'clock shadow? He's not. He doesn't have his gelled hair. He gets helped by American Made and Chad Gable. I would find that hilarious. It's not great, but I like it.
That's what it worked in Rocky 3.
That's
You got
true.
Apollo and Rocky. Why not? But I just want to see it. I think it would challenge Gunther definitely as a character and Gunther as a professional. Like, can he go into this vulnerability? And we did get a showing that he can, because he made a face I've never seen him made before. It was scared, like a scared little Gunther, little Gunthercito.
Gunthercito. That was the first thing I pointed out. I was like, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
I even tweeted. I tweeted out, that's not my ring general.
No, you didn't say it right. Say it again.
That's not my ring general.
Can you imagine like ordering the burrito with come on and you say like guac.
Oh man, I liked it. It was the first thing that I pointed out. I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting. This is different. This is a different acting realm for Gunther that I haven't seen before." Which I think, Sancho, the more that we talk it out, I think it's valuable to have this different of a Gunther going into this match, because all of his matches, aside, of course, from the non-canon Cody Rhodes match, have just been. It is canon, of course, because it is impacting the current canon storyline, sure. But it's all been replays of what we've seen before with Gunther. But this is a replay, but it's different. You know, it's a different remix. Flavor. It's a remix.
Like Fortnite Chapter 2 remix.
DJ Khaled. Is he in Fortnite yet? DJ Khaled?
No, surprisingly not.
I would think he'd be perfect for
Snoop
Fortnite.
Dogg, Eminem, and Ice Spice are.
Why? Is it just like a rapping season?
Yeah, the remix. Fortnite Chapter 2 remix.
Oh, who else do you want to see added? It doesn't matter who you want to see added.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew. I would love to see 50 Cent, because this is perfect. You remember 50 Cent Blood on the Sand? That's how we connected. That's how we shook
50 Cent Blood on the Sand is the best game ever. I love 50 Cent Blood on the Sand. Yes.
50 Cent. Question: when you had a creative wrestler, who was the first wrestler you created besides yourself? Like, did you create like a action star? Did you create a old school wrestler? Like, what was your go-to?
I was never a creative wrestler guy. Never.
Not a call guy?
Never a call guy. Never. I only like playing as the people I saw on TV.
Oh, wow. Lack of imagination.
It could be a lack of imagination, but it's just like, I bought a WWE game. I want to play as WWE people.
So why not make an old school WWE wrestler that you liked? They're not on TV. I'm not interested.
Well, I mean, if they're in the game, they probably are the ones I'm interested in. What do you think? I'm playing WWE 2K24 and be like, man, I really wish I had Muhammad Hassan here. Darn.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, who cares? If they're in the game, they're in the game. That's great. That's who I play with.
It's in the. We sound like Jerry Seinfeld for a second.
What's the deal with create a wrestler?
God, a good call, dude. There's some great calls out there. Shout out to the people that mod wrestling.
For those that don't know, CAW, he's saying CAW, not calls. CAW, create a wrestler. It's an acronym. Just keeping the people up to date, the people that do not know. But you're excited or not excited for Damian Priest Gunther right here, which has now been confirmed for Survivor Series.
That's tough, bro. If it's a Gunther that is nerfed, I'm excited. I want a scared Gunther. I want a Gunther who's like, maybe he can't lock it in. Maybe he can't get a power bomb. A limp Gunther. You know what I mean?
Sure. Would you be, and hear me out, would you be more excited and potentially more keen to see this develop if it was Dominic Mysterio?
Yes.
Me too.
It's dumb,
me too.
Dude.
And I'm not even being like a stand here for a second. I just think that there would be something fascinating about the idea of, obviously it's Dominic Mysterio, but in reality it would be Judgment Day versus Gunther. That's what it would be, right? And it would be, will Dominic Mysterio be able to use every single member of the Judgment Day to try and pick up a victory versus Gunther? It would give Gunther a bunch of interesting matches leading into Survivor Series, like JD McDonough, maybe Finn Balor. But Damian Priest, it's because we've seen it before. And I see no fear at all, even though the fear is in Gunther's eyes, but there's no fear in my eyes that Gunther is going to lose. But I feel like there would unironically be more danger if it was Dominic Mysterio.
So he's like a Pokemon trainer. Carlito, I choose you.
Yeah, that's what it could be.
What about is this? Feels like it's been done in anime, right? This like group of rangers or something going up against like the big bad.
Sure.
Is that a thing?
Sure, it's absolutely a thing.
You're the anime guy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's an anime. All right, get ready for this. All right, it's called Haikyuu. It's a volleyball anime. There's an anime for everything. It's one of my favorite animes. I played collegiate level volleyball, so like I'm really into this. Yeah.
You're really short for volleyball.
I am not. Well, actually, yes,
you are.
I am for volleyball. I am. But I'm an athletic freak. What can I say? I'm 6'1", which is short for volleyball.
Yes, but what's your vert?
What was my vert?
Yeah,
because it's not the same now. I don't know what I could dunk.
Okay.
Yeah, I could dunk. Yeah.
And you do have short arms, so.
I do have short arms. Yeah.
I'm not trying to bring you down.
You are. You brought me down.
What do you mean? I got long arms.
You brought me down.
I could have been a volleyball.
I'm never gonna recover from this.
Oh no, not Limp Santi. Santi, no.
Don't call me Limp Santi. I'm rock hard.
Oh jeez. Okay.
Volleyball. Yeah. There's an anime, volleyball anime where this team comes together. They're a group of ragtag individuals, and they kind of make it through like all of the different regionals, and they make it to this big bad final where the other team, they're not really a cohesive team, but it's one guy on the team that's like the best volleyball player in all of Japan, who is just an absolute monster. So then the story is, can these guys that are significantly worse individually beat the one guy? It's good.
Did one of them talk like this, like, oh, well,
probably.
Well,
here's the thing. I watched it in Japanese, so it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what the Japanese version of is.
Ooh.
Do you think that's what it is?
I would wonder if would you watch more New Japan Wrestling if it was available in the States?
100%. Oh my goodness. How, not even just New
USA,
Japan.
Like if USA had it, you know?
Not even just New Japan, but also like Stardom. Like Stardom is really hard to watch. Like I went to the website for Stardom and it's like all Japanese. I don't know what to click. To be able to buy it.
I wonder if they if ever when Netflix, maybe what if USA picks up Stardom or Marigold or something like that. I would love to watch wrestling on a Saturday morning, afternoon like that.
Sure, why not? Why not?
It's the power of the internet. I know everyone says like, dude, just go to the internet, you could find it, but I want something like where I could just go to it easily, like a one click. I guess you could subscribe. Do they have an app? I don't know. These are the questions I don't know. But what I do know is I'd rather have Dominic Mysterio versus Gunther because I've already seen Damian. And I guess the most important thing is Damian still needs to be strong. And this is a way to keep Damian strong. But I would not mind if they kept Damian off TV or kind of like in a nebulous state for a little while. Maybe had him feud against Sheamus. I don't know. I just feel like it's too soon again for Damian Gunther. Because what's going to happen? You think Finn is going to get involved? Finn has to get involved, right?
Yeah, I would assume. I think that's what they're leading to.
Yeah, and then so what? Gunther is going to win with Finn, or Finn's going to
again?
And Damian again? I don't know. I do though. We want to shift gears. I do feel that the WWE is kind of reliving storylines a little bit too soon with remixes. This is what we're dealing with in the OG bloodline, in the Solo Sikoa bloodline. It is a rehashing of putting the band back together again to go up against another Bloodline faction. This time, the remix is its Bloodline members, OG, trying to put the band back together again. But I think the biggest kind of flaw in this remix, Santi, is that the big bad of Solo Sikoa doesn't feel like a big bad, like a Thanos level threat that they were preaching last year. So even though I love Solo and I think he's doing great promo work and he's always excelling every time he pops up on TV, I think I'm so excited when I see him on Monday Night Raw. Very exciting to see him trying to get Seth Rollins to join his side. I still don't think he's the same level of threat as a Roman Reigns just yet. It feels
I still don't think that he's the same level of threat as Roman Reigns. That's where Solo excels. Making you into a buffoon. That's what he does, and he's killing it. Come on.
I'm an early adopter of Solo Sikoa.
I'm an early adopter of Solo Sikoa.
I talk about him all the time, and I give him his flowers. I love him, and I've been tooting that horn for such a long time that Solo Sikoa is finding a new gear. The point I want to make is I feel like all this Bloodline saga is so messy. It is a sloppy Joe. You know what sloppy Joe is?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I do. It's like it's a sandwich, a type of sandwich. It's like messy meat. I know what it is. All right. It's like isn't it pulled pork? Is it more pulled pork? Shut up. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Is it a spaghetti?
So what is this, Family Feud? Show me spaghetti.
Naked grandma.
Yeah. So I really do think that this entire, it's kind of reminds me, you remember when the Shield got reunited?
Sure.
Because Moxley was on the way out, so they kind of rushed everything. I feel like everything for this moment is so rushed and it's so strange to me. But I'm in for the ride because they'll give us those big milestone moments that'll get me excited, or a promo. But it still feels very rushed, very sloppy at the same time.
Yes, I would agree. It feels weird that the band is fully back together and Roman still refuses to apologize. It feels like the band still shouldn't be together. Like, it's very clear that Roman still has major problems with Sami Zayn, and I just don't. Usos? I just don't think that the story beats that they've given us so far in the development of the storyline have been conducive of making me believe, we can put our differences aside. I don't think that they've really beat that drum enough, personally, especially the Sami Zayn aspect alongside Roman Reigns, and even the Jey and Roman Reigns. I just don't think that they really beat that drum hard enough. So I am having a tough time believing that the Backstreet Boys are really ready to go back on tour. But I do disagree with you in that I do feel like Solo kind of feels like a Thanos level threat at this point, at the very least a Loki level threat. You know, I feel like he's built himself up to be a big bad, and he's surrounded himself with the right tools, right? Like when Loki got the Tesseract, it's like, damn, all right. Now Jacob is the Tesseract, right? The Tongans are that army that he had. I do feel like he's built himself up to be an Avengers level threat. Let's say that. I think maybe comparing him to Thanos is too much to. I think when you say Thanos, you think too much of The Rock. You think of the final boss, and I feel like that's unfair. But if we think of like the Ultrons of the world, we think of the Lokis of the world. I think that's. I almost said that Sancho is an Avenger level threat, buddy. You're a bug. You're nothing. You're not a threat to anybody. You're not a threat to anybody or anything.
Dude, I'm more of a Guardians of the Galaxy threat. You know what I'm saying? Like a little jokey, little comedic type of threat.
Hey.
Yeah,
just that character.
Yeah, that's me. Star-Lord could take care of me. That's
dude. Baby Groot could kick your ass. Okay, that's where I'm at. Anyways, I think he's an Avengers level threat, unlike you.
Are you talking about Baby Groot that's in the pot? Like,
yeah, the one that's in. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. That one could kick your ass.
Dude, he could, because he could just put like a branch in my throat and I'm dead.
Game over, bro. Game over. You know what I would do? Dodge it.
Wow.
I'm an Avengers level threat.
You are?
I think so.
So are we in Age of Ultron? If you want it, like the first blow was Avengers, are we in Age of Ultron? Because a lot of people think that we're in it, like we already had Endgame with Cody Rhodes winning, but I don't think so.
Age of Ultron. I think you're hitting it on the head. I think Endgame is The Rock.
For sure.
Yeah, I think Endgame is absolutely The Rock.
It could be Infinity where The Rock wins. I think we have to. Dude, would you hate the WWE? Hear me out. Save place. I'm Doctor Strange in this, brother. All right, we're gonna go down a multiverse here for a bit. I'm doing this thing. Remember? Someone edit this where I'm like going really fast. All right, here we go.
All right. All non-comic book fans are like, what the hell just happened? We just had two simultaneous seizures with each other.
The Rock comes back, beats Cody, becomes the undisputed champion, right? That's what they want. And I know people are like, no, then Roman would come in and get back his gold, whatever. But Santi, what if I were to tell you that in a time of peril, where darkness shrouds the WWE, when there is no hope and there is no light to be seen, and The Rock is raining terror, cutting promos left and right, and all of a sudden you hear the trumpets. It is John Cena who dethrones The Rock to become the undisputed champion.
I mean, you're never gonna get hate from me, brother, when it comes to that. Yeah, give it to me. That's everybody else is gonna think that sucks, but I love it. I love it.
It would be the third match between John Cena and The Rock, right? And
yeah.
Who has to go over between those two?
Listen, though, like, I feel like more than just... I feel like in a regular wrestling world, the logic would dictate Cena. But not only would this be the wrestling world, this is also Hollywood. And The Rock and John Cena are both in Hollywood now. And I just don't see The Rock taking L's to another Hollywood action hero and losing a series to another Hollywood action hero that's in competition for the same types of movies as him. It's The Rock, bro.
Vin Diesel. We're talking about John, dude. Mr. WWE, the guy that's been who said, what do you got there? You got
Sarah made me an omelet and
wow.
2 English muffins with a banana on them.
What's his macros on this bad boy?
I actually don't know.
No, you don't care.
Don't know, do not care.
Wow, that's gonna get cold, man. By the time
I know, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll find strategic times to eat it.
Okay. Maybe
where were we? Avengers Ultron. Age of Ultron.
Avengers Ultron. OG. I still think it's rushed though. At the end of the day, even though Solo could be the right player, I feel like Solo is fun to watch, which is important because at this time last year, Solo was not fun to watch.
You know what's funny?
What?
People also thought that Age of Ultron was rushed. And what's funny is that people didn't hate, but they didn't love Age of Ultron. And they started to fall in love with Age of Ultron after the years passed and realized, Age of Ultron was actually pretty good. Maybe that's going to be this situation.
Age of Ultron did have a lot of splintering timelines and fallout that mattered the most to the entire MCU. So you might be right here. We might get some good seeds and nuggets. Now, my question for you is we're going to enter this realm. And I know the Raw was pre-taped, so y'all may already know this answer. I try to stay off socials as much as can. Who is the 5th member for the OG Bloodline? We already had Jay go to Ray, and Jay came to me, and I was like, no, I cannot be in the Bloodline.
You know, you realize that our impressions of Rey Mysterio are always Rey Mysterio speaking in the third person because of the showcase. Our impressions are never just Ray talking. It's always Ray's thoughts.
Yes, I know. It's so good. So Rey Mysterio's already said no. Braun Breaker was interested. And he was like, ooh, maybe, perhaps I might join you.
Mayhaps, my lord. Okay, logically, the one who should be saying yes instantly should be Braun Breaker, right? Young guy trying to find, more limelight. Logically, it would be Braun Breaker.
Yeah, instead they put him with Sheamus, and I put Sheamus versus Braun Breaker, which is Braun Breaker with that orange tanner. Is going to be like, you ever had a Tupperware with chili in it, and you try to wash the Tupperware and that orange, it's right sticks? That's going to happen with Sheamus. He's going to have orange all over him that you're not going to be able to rub off. And
so no limes, but orange.
But no lines. But now we have third is Seth Rollins, which I find the most interesting of the third. That Sami Zayn shot for the moon, bro. He didn't go after any.
I think I know somebody.
I think I know someone that absolutely hates Roman. Let me go ahead and put them together. So out of those three, and some people think Cody might be the 5th, or Brock. What do you think? Who's the 5th?
Before I answer, doesn't this feel unnecessary? Doesn't it feel like it should just be 4v4?
It's that, and it's the 2v2 plus equals 4 scenario where the obvious one is going to be picked.
I know, but it's the obvious one. Dude, this is just WWE doing a different version of who's the mystery tag partner, who's the mystery opponent. It's the same. It's gonna be Seth Rollins. It's Seth Rollins. All right, I haven't read spoilers, none of that. I'm just telling you, I know how WWE functions. 2 + 2 = 4. They think they're making you think there might be a swerve. There's not going to be. It's going to be Seth Rollins. The correct answer should be nobody. It should just be 4v4. It should be the 8 guys that have an actual emotional investment in this fight that should be in War Games. It doesn't require a 5th. There's actually been way more War Games that's 4v4 than there are 5v5. And I guess you could make the argument that, hey, we need the 5th person to add more star power. Really? You got Roman in there already. You got one of the most popular guys in Jey Uso. You got one of the big bad guys in WWE in Solo Sikoa. You got implications with The Rock that could potentially be part of the fallout. This doesn't need star power. What this needs is storytelling. And adding Hikuleo or adding Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes, people are even saying Kevin Owens, which would make no sense, would take away from the organic story that should be told, which is old versus new, which is OG versus current, which is Roman versus Solo. It's taking away from it. It should just be 4v4. If I'm a betting man, it's probably going to be Seth Rollins over on the other side. On the other side, or on a SmackDown, maybe this is the debut of Hikuleo, which I think would be entirely rushed. It's unnecessary right now.
Right. We're like 3 weeks out? The end of the month, the 30th, right?
Not only are we 3 weeks out, but we're also weeks out with a couple of pre-taped episodes, if I'm understanding this correctly. I believe that the episode, obviously this upcoming episode of Raw is pre-taped.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know about the go home. I thought I saw that the go home was also pre-taped. Anyways, I might be wrong there.
Regardless, it's still not enough time to introduce a new Bloodline member. One, if you do introduce him, how are they going to be more dominant than a Jacob Fatu, who took not weeks? I mean, he was instantly over with you beating up Cody, Kevin, and Randy at the same time. But like, how can you top that for Hikuleo, who's he's a 7-footer, right? He's the tallest one out of everybody.
I don't know how tall he is. I can't comment on that.
I think he's.
I can't comment on that. I'm going to pass on the question. I'm passing. I'm going to pass on this question, double it and give it to the other guy. I'll look it up.
So I feel that it is I should be a 4v4 because it feels like, I said, this is the rehashing. Wasn't it Cody trying to go out and recruit people to go up against the Bloodline? And that's why Seth Rollins was the one that kind of stepped up, because once The Rock showed up, it was a Thanos level threat. My question for you is, would you feel this way if Solo Sikoa introduced that fifth member, and if it was The Rock? Then you would say, well, they're underpowered. They need someone that's going to be a big star for that fifth slot.
If it's The Rock, sure. I mean, you're basically giving me the best possible scenario, right? Like that's
100%.
Absolutely
Totally
that is the best possible scenario. If it is The Rock teaming up and being part of the of Solo's bloodline, then sure. I think Seth Rollins makes sense to a degree. One with more
Dwayne.
One in star power, and two in their already existing hatred of each other at WrestleMania 40. I'm having a hard time seeing The Rock in a War Games match. I'm struggling to visualize that.
Does Seth Rollins teaming up with Roman cut what happened at 40 in half, though?
Of course, 100%. It absolutely diminishes it.
Yeah, it's like he made the ultimate sacrifice to, one, be the architect, dress up in the Seth Rollins Shield gear, walk out with a chair to set up Roman Reigns to lose to Cody with no knee, by the way. He did all that, and for what? To team up with him against, that's what I think. Agreed. Solo Sikoa is not as big a threat for Seth Rollins to go, you know what? The only thing that again, it was pre-taped, so we're missing huge pieces here. But when Seth Rollins disrespected Solo Sikoa by saying he's a wannabe Roman Reigns, and I think that probably made Jacob Fatu mad. And Solo, if they get theirs back against Seth Rollins, which makes Seth Rollins goes, you know what? I'm going to go after him, which is, again, you still got Bronson Reed. It's like, there's just too many things that for Seth Rollins, once again, like Drew McIntyre said, stealing the spotlight. That's what you are. You're addicted to the spotlight, Seth. You can't just be yourself, Seth.
I hope that because I'm almost certain it's probably going to be Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed. Bloodline helps Bronson Reed win, right? It's exactly how Jay got involved in this story, right? It's just the same retelling with different dudes in there. But you know what? When I go back in my mind's eye and I go back and see that Braun Breaker victory, Braun Breaker came out on top, but he's definitely, it feels like he's fallen a peg or two in terms of importance, even though he beat Jey Uso for the Intercontinental Championship. Why did Jimmy
ask Braun Breaker then?
It makes no sense, right?
Right.
But then
makes no sense.
To bring this back now to Bronson Reed, I would hate for Bronson Reed to win in a way that actually diminishes him. And I have a feeling that's where it's going because it's the same thing with Braun Breaker.
All for a 5v5 that we don't need.
It doesn't need to be 5v5.
Unless The Rock shows up or unless they're introducing a new Bloodline member, which I would hate for them to have. I would hate for Solo to go, oh, you got Seth Rollins. That's cool. I'm not going to tell you who my fifth is until Survivor Series. And then we're going to be wondering who's the fifth man. And I feel bad for Hikuleo. Everyone's going to be thinking it's going to be The Rock and it's Hikuleo. You're like, oh.
Okay, but if it's The Rock, that works.
100%.
If it's The Rock, that works. And there's no way, bro, that they would set up Hikuleo for that massive, underwhelming pop for him to be the special last entrant in War Games. No way.
Wasn't there a Royal Rumble where Ray was the last guy and everyone was mad?
Yeah. And everybody felt... you feel bad, but people were mad because it wasn't Daniel Bryan.
Yes, who was supposed to come... Yes.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, it was during the Yes movement. Ray just was in the worst possible spot, yeah.
And then they told me, and then they said, I am number 30. And I went out there and I was booed.
I was so confused. Normally I'm a crowd favorite, but this night... that wasn't the case.
Why are you getting better at that?
Dude, it's the WWE 2K22 showcase. I'm telling you, it's so funny how he narrates his match. And then Eddie, that Eddie, what a guy. Always had something up his sleeve.
It's like borderline NPC. I'm still surprised that Ray's always picked for like collabs with video games. Like I get it. Ray in Warzone, cool, but why? And then they asked me to be in Warzone.
Did you ever see his tweet with it was like 10 WWE games ago?
No.
Dude, it's so funny. I think it was like WWE 2K15. He's just like, I'm going to read it in his voice, but it was an actual tweet. It was just like, WWE 2K15 comes out today. Can't wait to beat my kids. That was it. Poor Dom. Can't wait to beat my kids.
Can you imagine the fifth guy was Ray though? That's the dumbest thing ever.
For OG Bloodline. I mean, they were talking to him, so it's not impossible.
Jay's not the smartest guy. That's a bad play. It's like you play fantasy football with someone and they draft a quarterback in round one. You're like,
dude, what are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing?
But hey, Ray's a WWE Hall of Famer. Why not? Why not get Ray on my team?
Dumb. I hope we don't see this type of pandering as well from Solo's Bloodline. I hope it's just, there's a grander scheme happening here and that they've got somebody all along. I hope that that's the case. But we're already kind of seeing it when they pandered to Seth Rollins, right? So I'm wrong, and I'm already wrong. Did
you like how Tongaloa is the driver of the Bloodline?
Oh, God, I'd be so nervous letting Tongaloa drive.
You ever been in an Uber? You're like, this Uber's gonna be a ride from hell,
dude. The most dangerous thing. All right, I've called Ubers before, and you know how like you can read their profiles, and it'll be like, you're his fourth ride ever. It's like, oh no. Yeah, normally you get an Uber, it's like this is his 20,000th ride. I'm like, all right, that's my guy.
He's a veteran.
Yeah. And then it's like this is his sixth ride ever. It's like, oh, this is literally his first night of work.
Are you a conversationalist or non-conversationalist?
No, I put quiet. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I would literally pay extra if I had to for you to not talk to me. I don't want you to talk to me in my Uber. I don't want you to talk to me at the cab. You know who I hate? People that the ones that talk to me, hairstylists. If I'm going to go get my hair cut, don't talk to me. All right. I should be able to click an option of shut up or talk. All right. That's what it should be. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. What's next? Pile drivers are back. Pile drivers are back. I can't tell if you're frozen.
Can I talk to you?
Dude, I was like, oh no, my internet again.
Oh, I'm really good at that. Yeah. Pile drivers are back, baby. Did that scare you? That scared me.
It didn't.
Oh, come on.
No. Because I know how good Randy is at doing the Randy thing.
Well, no, I know that.
I know.
Hurt, but it scared me to see a pile driver on TV again. I was like,
it's tough. I know, but years? It's tough to buy it when they've been giving us Canadian destroyers every other week between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. And
it's a pile driver. It is devastating compared to Canadian destroyer.
The Canadian destroyer was
too much. The Canadian destroyer is much more devastating.
It's supposed to be. It's a jumping pile driver that flips in the air.
It's not devastating. A pile driver is the one that incapacitates a man. That thing could send you to the hospital, brother. It could break your spine, brother.
Okay.
It's American-made pile driver, brother.
All right, so it's back. What are your thoughts?
I loved it. This is what's great about what makes Kevin Owens go off the deep end, and why not use a banned move that's traditionally banned across all the United States back in the old days, and a move that devastated Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think a lot of people jumped on the tribalist train when it comes to, oh, this is what the WWE does better than AEW. They really make the impact.
I can dismantle that argument instantly.
They're just different realms, brother.
Yeah.
They're different realms. They're different kind of power move sets when it comes down to WWE versus AEW. The WWE use it as a plot device to move the story forward, whereas AEW just uses it as a moment to get to the next big moment. So
you know how that argument actually would work is if the pile driver was banned in AEW. If the pile driver was banned in AEW and then they no-sold pile drivers, then sure, you'd be like, then this is stupid. This doesn't work. But like, it's a different world. It's a different ecosystem. It's not banned there, so it doesn't have the same dangerous feeling that it has over here in WWE.
The only thing I could kind of compare it to is where Ospreay did not want to do the Tiger Driver because he felt like it was too dangerous to do. So that was very similar to it. I just think that for me, in the WWE world, like I said, they're two different realms, two different worlds. And if you approach these promotions in two different realms and different worlds, you could actually enjoy both at the same time. The WWE, the pile driver is just scarier because of what happened to Stone Cold. Like, I think that's what adds to the allure of it, the spookiness of it. And I wanted, of course, Randy, who's like, oh, I can't feel any. He's sitting there just moaning, sitting there moaning on the stretch board. Why are you moaning like that, bro?
And then Randy was moaning all kind of weird.
And then they put him on a stretch board. And I remember when Big Show hit me
with
God, no. I feel that Kevin Owens, this is a great vehicle for him to be maybe someone who gets suspended, continuing to keep him off TV. I think this keeps Randy off of TV a good while, and it frees up Kevin if they want him to have him involved in some sort of plot with Cody Rhodes. Or, like I mentioned, Randy comes back at Survivor Series. They do Randy versus Kevin with Cody as the referee. It's all going to happen, but I enjoyed the segment. I think that segment, it's, oh, God. What kind of underwear are you wearing?
I'm not wearing any.
Oh, God. The real Chargers in there, eh?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got the real bolt up. You know what I'm saying?
So
the bolt is up.
Your team is so ass, dude. You don't win anything. I'm happy for you that you're finally winning with your college collegiate John Hardball, who he's going to suck in the playoffs, all right? You're not even in your own stadium. You're in SoFi. Did you like SoFi? Great
Dude, what
stadium,
a stadium.
right?
Beautiful.
What a beautiful
stadium.
Right? Didn't it feel like state of the art? And you went to the Clipper game too.
I did. That was a last second decision. Because also a brand new stadium arena in the Intuit Dome. So like we decided to go 20 minutes before the game.
Perfect.
Yeah, because I got a notification on like my sports app that said, "Oh, Raptors versus Clippers starts in 20 minutes," and I was like, "Hold on, where are they?" And then I was like, "Oh, my home team." And then I realized that the Raptors were in Los Angeles, and I was also in Los Angeles. So then we decided to just make the quick jump to Intuit Dome. It was great.
Do you hear the rumors that would be the first Raw on Netflix? That could be the place?
I mean, it's a cool venue. Really cool venue. I'd be down.
Did you like the wall? Like the wall?
It's only one side that's like that. The other side isn't. It's more traditionally slanted. But there, for those that don't know, the one of the sides behind the net is like almost straight up. It's like a wall. And Sancho, that section, they try to make it into a student section where you can't sit down.
Really?
Yeah, if you buy a ticket to that section right behind the net, you've signed a waiver. You are not allowed to sit. For the entire game, you cannot sit. You have to be making noise the entire time.
Don't they have like biometrics to see if you're actually making noise? I heard that.
Yeah. They did there as well. It was it got loud. It was a loud arena, and it wasn't even full because it's still an early season game.
I heard the good thing is it's cheap though. The tickets are like $10 or something. Not bad.
Yeah, like we had really good seats that in most NBA stadiums would have been like a couple $1,000s, and we were able to score like really close, like third row seats for like $200 a pop. It's nice. Yeah. Steve Ballmer, the owner of the team, was like within eyesight.
Oh, wow.
It's like, dude, really? Like you should be charging more for this.
Good for you. You lived it up. I'm glad you came down, muck it up here with the United States.
It's a good time. You know what I mean? It's a good time, America.
You had a good time in America. What I want to say, though, is I feel that the pile driver with Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, I think it was perfect. I think it was executed great. I think the seriousness of Michael Cole and Corey Graves added to a little bit, that little, and this is a very devastating move.
Dude, I was dying laughing when Corey's like, I really just don't want to see a replay. 3 replays in a row just play for him.
That would have been cool if they were like, we're not going to show you the replay. Like, you know how they do in the NFL? When we're not going to show you the replay. It's too devastating. Other than that, I feel it's a great wrinkle, and I don't think Randy is gone for a while, but it would be interesting to keep Randy off the TV.
I feel like I was ready for Randy versus KO at Survivor Series. I felt like that was the right match. Mm-hmm. But now it looks like it's going to be Cody KO?
Really?
Question mark? Or what else?
Well, I mean,
what else? If not Randy KO, you can't not use the heat KO has right now going into your biggest show left of the year.
Well, that would be cool because then KO could be like threatening with the pile driver, and then Cody's going to find a way to avoid it. It's like a Power Rangers show, like watch out for the pile driver. That.
Oh, you know what I don't want? Cody's going to kick out of the pile driver.
Oh,
no. Cody's going to kick out.
Is it going to be a one kick and then a Hulk up?
Cody's going to kick out of the pile driver, bro. The Bushido of Cody Rhodes. You know it's going to happen, brother. You know it's going to happen.
My father said, kick out pile driver. Is he going to do his little whoop?
The bionic elbow? Of course. But like, we still don't know if Cody's at Survivor Series. We genuinely don't know if he's scheduled for the show or not.
You know what he's going to do? He's going to, on Smackdown, he's going to come out. Where's Kevin Owens? I want Kevin Owens. I want him at Survivor Series. That's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do at SmackDown. He's going to come out with no, disheveled look, like he's been at the hospital, watching Randy sleep type of vibe. And he's been sitting there waiting. What else do you do at the hospital when someone's in you watch them sleep? What do you want from me?
I know, it's just like, you could have just said he was visiting Randy at the hospital. You didn't have to add the watching him sleep part. I feel like that could have been entirely omitted and the point would have still been made.
For the parents out there in wrestling school community, there's nothing scarier than when your 5-year-old just stands next to you watching you while you sleep. They do it all the time.
Oh,
like in the
the Ring or the Grudge.
Yeah, they wake you up at 4 a.m. and they're just there like, you're like, oh God, what is this? What is it that you want?
Little demon child.
Yes, but that's basically Cody. Cody KO. Why not? Give it to me.
Sure. It seems so convoluted. Like just follow my train of thought here. They built up Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens after Bad Blood. And you're like, now I want to see this. And then they're like, detour, Cody, Gunther, KO versus Randy Orton. And you're like, okay, I guess I could get excited for KO versus Randy Orton. Oh my God, now I'm super excited for KO Randy Orton. Cannot wait for these two to actually have a match. Nah, we're going to go back to the thing that we built back at Bad Blood. And we're going to come back to that. And we're going to do Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. And then you'll have to wait for the KO ones. Like, it just seems convoluted and very jumping all over the place. Like, just have a continuation of something.
Is this
No, it's not. Go though. It's not a safe place.
Randy Orton suffers a very traumatic brain injury, and he becomes
Simple Jack.
Randy. He becomes Randy. Okay. Heel Randy. 2009 Randy.
He shaves his head.
And he says, this is your fault, Cody, that I got
popped. Ooh.
punt kicking everything.
That's much better than my idea of him coming back as Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
That's much
the
better.
The movie hasn't aged well, but it's still
it's aged so poorly. I recently watched Tropic Thunder with Sarah, and we're like, wow, this is just not okay.
it is a movie that is of its time, but it's still a solid, good movie.
Yes,
can't go wrong with it.
Good times.
Well, what do you want to say? We said wrestling related movies. Do you want to give what's the first movie? It hasn't aged well either at all.
No, yeah, for the $15 patrons on Discord.
If you are still thinking about it, like we mentioned, we're gonna do movie nights. The first one is Ready to Rumble.
I haven't seen it before.
David Arquette. There's some things that hasn't aged. It's a comedy movie from the early 2000s, so it hasn't aged that well. Think of like a Harold and Kumar situation.
Sure. Oh, dude, can we watch that on Match Club? Dude, here's the thing, Sancho, there will be a point where we run out of wrestler related movies. There will be a point.
Oh, dude, we still got Thunder in Paradise. We
have every Dwayne Johnson movie that we could technically count as this.
Could watch the Big Show Netflix show.
Oh God, I can I veto that? Just nothing.
Oh, we could watch No Holds Barred.
You know what? I mean, it depends. Like, are we just doing wrestling movies or movies with wrestlers?
Really, dude, we're gonna see what was it? See No Evil? Hell yeah.
Oh, we gotta see No Evil. Yeah, that's a WWE Productions movie. We gotta go through all the WWE Productions movie, actually. Yes. We gotta go through all the WWE Productions. Yeah.
Speaking of the Marines.
Doom. Can we watch Doom?
Yeah, I like Doom.
Yes.
Yes. But speaking of the Marine, The Miz with a great acting performance, acting like he was kidnapped, acting like he got let go from the Wyatt Six, and then all of a sudden Karrion Kross gives the best performance, and they suckered the Wyatt Six into a trap. And then what's so cool about that entire thing, Santi, is the Wyatt Uncle Howdy still laughing at the end of the day, like the Joker, and Karrion look at him like, what did I just do? He's not down. This man is still coming at me. Oh, dude,
and then Uncle Howdy just kept laughing. I was so scared.
Everyone's inner monologue's Ray. I really feel.
First of all, that's a hilarious concept. If everyone's inner monologue is just Rey Mysterio.
I absolutely love that they finally give something for the Final Testament to do.
Yes,
the in-ring action was fun. The fact that the Miz is now full Healy Miz. Good stuff all around.
Sorry,
brother.
The Heelys are those shoes with wheels on them. He's Healy Miz. He's just sliding down the ramp.
I thought it was a cool segment. I'm surprised it got that much in. I felt like the 2-hour Raws really did the Wyatt Six and the Final Testament dirty, and I liked it, man. I liked how the swerve happened, and I liked how chaotic the energy was of Karrion Kross dragging Miz into the ring. Going, we're gonna break your legs. That's what we're gonna do. Let's go. We're gonna do it. And then all of a sudden, just like the big swerve where the Miz hits Eric Rowan in the back of the chair, and then the Wyatts get destroyed. But I feel like at the end of the day, this is the Wyatts' plan. That's what makes it all so creepy at the same time, that this is what the Wyatts wanted. They wanted to see what was the plans for the Final Testament, brother.
Now I see you.
There you are, Karrion Kross.
He knows he knows them all. He sees them all. He sees what the Miz is now.
And Scarlett is involved now in the ring. She did that crazy shoving Nikki Cross off the. Oh, that was a nasty
crazy bump. Nasty bump.
Crazy bump to take that. I'm dude, but I don't think this is still a Survivor Series. This is still just we're still in the bubbling phase here.
I bet this could be Saturday night's main event.
Ooh, I like that.
Yep. Or Raw go home before Survivor Series.
Which is not a bad. I mean, I know I've had problems with it, but I think that if they treat it as a main event, I think all eyes would be on it, and that's a great thing for a Karrion Kross to main event Monday Night Raw. I think that's definitely due for him and Uncle Howdy. And like I mentioned, I think the interesting part about this, Santi, is they let the Miz go. It's been the missing piece for the Wyatt Six. Like, what happens? What did the Wyatt Six want? And they said they let him go because he said he was sorry and that he was a changed man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I still don't fully buy that's what the Wyatt Six want. Like, what is it that they really want? And how do they show that whoever, because like I said before, Chad Gable did not change.
That's it. That's the problem. That's literally the spotlight of the problem of the Wyatt Six. And it's as simple of a question as this, Sancho. How do the Wyatt Six win feuds? That's a simple question, but it's actually a lot more complicated than it sounds, because traditionally is you pin the dude or the girl and you win the matches. But that just doesn't feel like that's what the Wyatt Six are there to do, to win matches. Because it seems like they're not there for materialistic gain or goals or anything like that, that they're there for some sort of different calling that might be difficult to explain. But when you see Chad Gable running around being a hilarious heel that he is, literally not unchanged, worse, more heel than ever before. It's like, well, did the Wyatt Six win the feud? Did they do the thing that they were trying to do? Because maybe it is they just haunt the bad guys and beat them. But maybe we're putting too much pressure on them to have something bigger than just that. But
that's not my fault.
It's not. You're right.
Because that's what Bray Wyatt was all about. That's what they presented with the good old John Cena match at Mania, man. The Firefly Funhouse. That match changed kind of John Cena's aspect of his career, right?
Mania 30 as well. Like, obviously, like Bray lost, but there was a narrative of like, I'm going to try and show the world that you're a false hero. And the narrative of the match is, I'm going to get you to hit me with the chair. Cena didn't, because he's, Super Cena or whatever. But like, you could see what the end goal of Bray Wyatt was, right? Even in a loss, he could have won. So I'm not seeing that with the Wyatt Six. I'm not seeing even in a loss, the Wyatt Six could still be on top because they were able to change X, Y, or Z.
It reminds me of the Dark Knight, where the Joker goes, "You think I would put the soul of Gotham in a fist fight with you?" Like, that's what Uncle Howdy's. He's not there to out wrestle you or pin you for gold. He's not here to chase gold. So why is he going against the Final Testament and Karrion Kross and The Miz? Like, that's like, what did they do wrong? They're just heels. But the Final Testament hasn't done anything nefarious to anyone besides Xavier Woods.
Well,
right?
you could make the argument that, Final Testament, Karrion, you've been spreading the poison across the WWE. And then it could show like a montage of all the people that have turned evil because of Karrion Kross. And then I'd be like, okay, all of those things that I said were crappy that didn't lead to anything, if it amounts to something cool here, it's like, color me stupid. You've got me here. If it's like, if they even show like it was because of you that Drew McIntyre went down this route, if they show all of those moments and this is what's leading up to them going after the Final Testament, like trying to stop the spread of the poison, it's like, okay, that's neat. That's interesting. The question still stands though. How do the Wyatt Six win? Is it just pinning? I don't know.
What I do know is you're not allowed.
No.
You just said it was all woven together, brother.
No.
Yes, you did. You just said, you were like,
no.
Somehow they connect the pieces and they make Karrion. Oh, look what you did. A great.
No, stop it.
And
no,
you're like, what if they tie everything together?
Everyone wants the train bit to die. No one likes this anymore.
By the way, I let you on, dude. You said no. That's your fault. If you would just right here and now, say it's the same train you're in.
It's not. It's not.
You had your chance, but I am enjoying this, and I think the in-ring action is going to be so fun. Because Authors of Pain, they need to have some bodies to throw around, and Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis are the perfect guys to just toss around.
Agreed. Okay, the one train.
Hey, the Miz is awesome too.
The Miz is great.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Oh, how cool was it? Like, the accidental bleeding, it made it so much more believable.
Like the blood trickle,
it made it so much more believable. Like okay, yeah, he's about to get his legs broken. I felt like that was one of those cool, happy accidents that really helped make the moment. Speaking of trains, the one I'm not allowed on, and the one that apparently got the date of their pickup destination wrong. The New Day celebration was supposed to be on this episode of Monday Night Raw, and then it just wasn't.
It's a 10-year, right? The 10-year one?
And then it just wasn't on Raw.
I would say I am enjoying what Xavier did, where he actually did a heel tactic, clotheslining Pete Dunne, and then he acts so nonchalantly leaning against the ring post. I'm excited for a heel Xavier because he knows how to be a heel very well for just being a student of the game for so long. And I like how he's so obnoxious. His voice is so grating. Like, what do you mean? I did the right thing. You need to go out there. You need to prove it. Go away. It's not me. Like, that is the kind of energy that Xavier is capturing so well. And I like that these guys, they're not broken up yet. They're still together. Kofi's still with him. And even though Kofi's like, don't touch me. Like, that kind of stuff is really fun to see, that there's a new level of interaction between two tag team members where it's not just like, oh my God, you did something evil and mean, I'm out. Kofi's not gonna do that because Kofi loves Xavier.
Yeah, it would be too simplistic, right? That's too black and white. It needs to. These are guys that have been homies for. Dude, I'm willing to forgive so much out of my high school buddies that I'm still friends with to this day. To this day, and it's like, dude, you have to do some truly heinous stuff for me to not be friends with you anymore. And I feel like that's the same place that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's realistic. That's totally realistic. That's a normal human interaction when you've been together and friends for so long. Just because your buddy does something that you aren't, super on board with, you don't attack them from behind like in the traditional world of the WWE.
Do you think if Kofi versus Xavier happens without Big E, then it's not worth it? I think that's what's the final missing piece.
Yeah, and I think Big E needs to be part of this story in some capacity. By the way, quick correction. This is scheduled for an upcoming episode of Raw. That's what they said. So they didn't say a particular date. And it's probably further down in November because I confirmed that the New Day's 10th year anniversary is actually November 28th, 2014. So we still have time.
After Thanksgiving.
Fake Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving already happened in October.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
The correct Thanksgiving.
What do you even eat in a Canadian Thanksgiving?
Literally the same thing as you guys.
Doesn't matter what you eat, you bum. You maple syrup having, Canadian maple leaf red flag wearing bum. Get out of here.
All right, keep going.
Trash. That's why you want to copy the American. It's an American holiday, all right? America. That's why you had to come down here. That's why you had to come down here and have fun. You're not going to go watch the Toronto Argonauts.
There's nothing fun here. There's nothing fun here. You're right.
Up there with your Toronto Argonauts.
Dude, why you have to hit the CFL? What does CFL ever do? They're already pathetic. You know that the highest paid CFL player makes like $400,000 a year, which is obviously a good living, but for an NFL for an NFL player, what is that? No, that's less than practice squad. Practice squad is $500,000 American. That, by the way, that's Canadian dollars. I just told you.
Well, that's even worse.
Even worse.
Inflation's at all-time low. So we all agree that New Day needs. Well,
yeah. All right. Never don't get your financial information from Sancho.
Dogecoin. Hold on to it. New Day needs Big E.
Agreed.
Because they're gonna run out of gas.
I think the perfect place is the New Day 10th year anniversary, wherever it is. Is this the place that the bullet gets fired?
I think that's where Big E gets inserted. And it's not necessarily the complete breakup, but that's when Big E starts becoming a character, starts trying to be like a, hey guys, we got to get back together. Maybe Kofi leaves, and it's Big E and Xavier trying to work through it together without Kofi. Yes, Santi Zap of the wrestling school.
What if, and it works either way, whether it's Kofi or Xavier Woods, what if there's an argument and one of them causes a moment that Big E takes a bump, and now they're selling like, oh my God. And obviously Big E sells the neck and whatnot. They come out, paramedics take them out, and they don't need to do like the full turn between them, but it's just like, there's the thing that could have brought us together. It's gone. And whether it's you, Kofi, or Xavier Woods, you did that. And then it could really unravel from there. That's a very delicate, like, button to press. Dude, if they were willing to press the button of doing a Shield heel turn off the back of Roman's cancer announcement, which is still just vile to this day, I think they could pull this off far more tastefully. You want to add more buttons to it? Hit me. Xavier says, I think what needs to happen, Big E, for you to come back to the WWE fully is that
you need to have a conversation. And out comes Ridge Holland. Let's add more stakes.
You want to add Ridge the Fridge? Dude, he cooking on NXT.
I know.
Pin the champion.
So the interesting things they could do with the derail the New Day train. But I think it's Big E's the missing piece. And I think if we don't get Big E soon, then we're going to start being like, they're never going to pull the trigger on this. Because we already started feeling that way. Remember when of course, the Odyssey Jones situation, but we're like, well, they're never going to pull the trigger now. And when they did the Ninja Turtles merch deal, I was like, oh, they're never going to pull the trigger.
Sure.
On the New Day, they get involved with too much merch, man. You ever seen those Cricket Wireless commercials with Chad Gable and Otis still? And you're just like, ooh, this is bizarre.
Yeah, this is weird. This is a weird multiverse. Speaking of like never pulling triggers, what the heck is going on with Austin Theory? Wasn't that a thing? Like, what's weird is that not only have they not pulled the trigger on it, it seems now that A-Town Down Under is like more cohesive than ever. Like they're actually like on the same page on things. So do you want to talk about a trigger that never got pulled or a story that's actually just getting dragged into oblivion? It's the Austin Theory face turn. It's at the point where I don't even think it's happening, brother.
It started before Perth, right? Before Elimination Chamber?
I mean, you could date it back there. You can absolutely date it there if you want to look at nuances.
Because that's when the Grayson Waller threw Austin Theory underneath the bus, and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes had their way with him.
Pretty much, yeah. You're right.
Austin Theory got thrown into the Grayson Waller side.
Yeah.
He just goes, if you smell.
But yeah, what the heck's going on there, man? I don't want.
They need heels. They need heels.
I don't think we need
Motor City.
Yeah,
and they got to keep it on. So they need heels, and like I said, it's a shame because they could work so well separately as heels, but I guess they're needed together. But they work well. They're starting to gel well as a tag team. I'm starting to enjoy them. I think when Motor City went up against them, I was like, oh, they look like a formidable foe for Motor City or a rival for a bit. But I do agree with you. I think, you know what, the WWE realizes that they're so valuable as those heels that are willing to work with celebrities and legends to make them look like money. And I think that's where they are, man. I think that's where Austin Theory has found, and Grayson Waller has found their niche for a while until they get called up into bigger things. But not a bad place to be to work with Jelly Roll and big stars, and you'll always have that viral moment. I think Austin Theory in the Chris Van Vliet interview was wanting that. He was seeking that vibe to be like, I want to be in the most viral moment, and I was in number 4 or something. So I think he's happy with his position, but it's kind of a shame considering that John Cena thing did absolutely nothing
for him. It hurt him. It hurt. Let's just call it what it was. Even beating John Cena, like it hurt his stock overall. Look,
and Vince leaving too.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think he kind of went into a reset mode and kind of has to earn it with Triple H. Is kind of the vibes I'm getting. I'm fine with Austin Theory's position. My problem was never his position. I don't think that he needs to be faced necessarily. It's the fact that you started the plot. You know, it's the fact that you started pulling on the threads. So like, what are we just going to ignore that all this stuff has happened? Because they're not even touching on it anymore. Like it's not even being alluded to anymore, Sancho.
There's just too many heel turns and face turns right now. I mean, DIY are going through it. New Day are going through it. Bianca and Jade are going to go through it. We already are gone through it with Tiffy and Nia. Like, how many people are going to turn on each other in this next coming season? And I feel like that is what's happening right now. There's
'Tis the season to be heely. La 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 la. Dude, let it happen. Just let the heels come out, man. All I want for Christmas is heels.
Like Batista pyro going off. I just feel like the WWE they need to. I think the WWE needs to stabilize a lot of their storylines. I feel like there's too many will they, won't they type vibes across the board everywhere. Like we're waiting for Jade and Bianca to turn heel. We're waiting for now Ciampa and Gargano to turn. So there's too many of that everywhere else. I think let things settle for a bit, bro.
Let's talk about the place that has too many of things going on right now, because I'm confused, lost, slightly concerned. The women's division is confusing me.
Is it now?
Yeah, man. Was that on Monday Night Raw? We had all of the women come out, a bunch of the women, I should say, a bunch of the main event caliber women come out, and there was a brawl. Is that question. I got a couple questions. Is that War Games?
Yes.
Okay. Are you putting both freaking champions on the same War Games team?
Yes.
So do you have no belief in their championship defenses against Io and Naomi that they could lose their titles before War Games?
That they could lose their titles? No, they won't lose. They'll hold their titles into that War Game.
Okay, you're gonna have both champions on the same team. They can't lose. Dude, Sancho, they can't lose. It's impossible. You would be burying your women's champions if they're both on the same team and lose. One of them has to lose the title beforehand. One of them has to. You cannot have both champions on one team, brother.
My sweet Santi. You're getting caught up in the gold, brother. It's not about that. This is a vehicle for Tiffany Stratton to steal a championship somewhere. Doesn't matter who wins, who loses War Games. There's a couple of things that need to happen. Jade and Bianca, their first fire needs to happen. That crack needs to start, coming down. And Liv Morgan and Nia need to be in danger of being cashed in on. That's all we're having here, brother. That's all we're doing.
So is this just a mishmash of stories? Because there's no definitive reason why group of women A versus group of women B. It's like fragments of different women having problems with one another, which leads us to what I think is just a wrong team up. And this might just be the wrestling market being like, actually, there's no reason for Bianca Belair and Io Sky to be high-fiving each other. They
had mutual respect.
Despise each other, dude.
They had mutual respect after a couple of matches.
Why does Bianca not have that same mutual respect with Bayley? Io Sky caused arguably more problems for Bianca Belair than Bayley ever did. Cashed in on Bayley.
Because Naomi was telling her you need to be friends with Bayley, and she was like, not down to clown, bro.
I hate that term, down to clown.
Not down
I hate the term, brother. Down to clown.
Come on,
man.
dude.
Look, I'm being too much of a stickler about this. I get it. I know there's people that are listening and like, dude, just let it be. Let it be. But we can't just agree on everything and say everything is hunky dory. I think it's weird. I think it's weird that
I didn't say it wasn't weird.
That you're probably going to add Bayley to this, and you're Candice LeRae on the other side.
Yes, you are.
So then now all of a sudden you have Bayley and Io who have still never got to get over their things. Now all of a sudden baby faces coming together out of convenience.
Why do you have a problem with the women's when the OG Bloodline and the Bloodline have the same issues with
That's
Seth
fair.
And Roman?
No, I did have the same issues with it. We literally talked about it, that it's been too rushed. I have the same issues with it.
But you're not going, the men's division have these fragments of storylines all coming together.
Well, no, because that's not fragments. That is storyline A and storyline B coming together, but that's also rushed. We said it's the same thing. That's also rushed, and it can absolutely feel like a little bit unrealistic. But I think this is worse.
You're looking at too many of the details of this when you need to know what is the nugget. What's
Nia and Liv just had a match against each other, and now they're teams. Nah, bro.
What is the nugget, sir? The nugget is the Money in the Bank briefcase. We are here to witness the wildest cash-in of all time, the greatest drama of all time. If Tiffany mistimes this cash-in and creates an opportunity for any of these women to win the title at War Games, wouldn't that be insane?
Yeah, now it would be. But you're talking about woulda, coulda, shouldas. We don't know if that's actually going to happen.
I live in the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
Yeah, and we lived in the woulda, coulda, shoulda world going into Crown Jewel, and then we came out severely disappointed. I'm only working off of what I got right now, what I have at the moment. All I'm saying is what I have at the moment presented in front of me is weird. It's a weird plate. All right. This side of beans doesn't go well mixed into my Caesar salad. That's what mixed
beans with your Caesar salad.
I'm saying that doesn't make sense. That's what we're doing, mixing these women that just don't gel correctly together in terms of the storylines that they've been telling prior to this. If you want to tell me that something awesome could come out of it in Tiffany Stratton, I'm interested in that 100%. But I also think it's disingenuous to not point out the weirdness in this buildup here.
This is what I think we're missing the piece, that this War Games on both men's and women's side are going to be a launch pad for a lot of feuds. There's going to be huge fallout, which is going to lead to the next PLE. So you have Seth and Roman on that side. You have Io and Bailey on that side. You have so many fallout that's going to happen. And definitely Tiffany Stratton's going to be the one. Dude, who knows what happens at Survivor Series? But I do know we're going to get a historic moment with that Money in the Bank briefcase.
Do you know? Because we all thought we knew at Crown Jewel.
Yeah, but we both agree that Saudi shows don't really have that oomph of those moments that you got to save this. So you have this at Survivor Series, which does need help at being the big four once again.
I would love it. Everything you're saying, I would love.
I love that you love it. And at the same time, why not have CM Punk involved in Survivor Series in some sort of way? I mean, this is the anniversary of his return.
I agree. I would have liked CM Punk Gunther here.
Interesting.
I would have liked it here, but
because imagine if it was CM Punk saying those things to Gunther, said Damian Priest.
I believe, right? That would cut so much deeper.
Right, when he goes, it's because, Gunther, you know I am the best in the world, and you are not the best in the world because Cody beat you. Now you have doubt, Gunther.
No. You let Dusty's kid beat you.
Yeah, dude. See, those like, I love Damian, and I understand why they got to keep Damian at a high level, but woo.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's any hate towards Damian. It's just like, I think there were potentially better options, but I feel like this is still a correct choice to go Damian. You needed to explore this.
There were no options that kept Damian at a high level. That's
correct.
The problem.
Correct. But yeah, I'm gonna until they continue to develop this further, I'm gonna continue to say and bang on the drum that Bianca and Io should not be high-fiving. That if Bailey joins this team, it's even more weird. And if that does happen to be the case, there better be so much chaos within this team for it to be logical. They cannot be hunky-dory best friends, super, fluid with one another.
Baby faces.
No, man, no. This is we are in a different era. We're in a different era where the things that have happened in the past matter. We cannot just throw that under the table and say we're going to ignore this for one particular match. It would be insulting the intelligence of wrestling fans. Look, if the match is going to happen, please don't ignore every nuance that has led to these women being in the position that they are. And it just so happens that the nuances should make them hate each other. And I want them to explore that. I'm also going to point out that it's weird that both champions are likely going to be on the same team when both champions just had a match and a feud against each other. That is also weird.
It was for Crown Jewel.
Okay, okay. Either have your cake, eat it, or throw it out. You can't have it and eat it too here. All right. You can only say that it's canon or not. You told me that it's canon with Cody Rhodes and Gunther. You can't say that it's not canon for Nia Jax and Liv Morgan.
Nia hates the other girls more than Liv Morgan does. She despises all of them on the other side.
Okay, so then in theory she should hate Liv too, who beat her.
Dog, there's people that hate each other that work together all the time.
She literally lost because of Raquel, who's on the team, Sancho.
There's listeners right now in cubicles looking to the right, and they hate that person right over there with all their being. That person that comes in on Monday and goes, "Oh, happy Monday. How are you doing today?" They hate that person. We get it. And they still work with them.
Yeah, but they have to work with them. There's nothing that's saying that these women have to be on this match. Like logically, like if I'm talking like in a storyline perspective, there's nothing that's actually tying Nia and Liv to get together to be a team. When another person on this team is literally one that could cash in on them, why would they want to be trapped in a cage with them? That's illogical. And two, for Liv Morgan, for Nia Jax, the reason she lost the Crown Jewel match is also in there, and Raquel Rodriguez. I'm just saying, Sancho is weird, and I can point out a lot of inconsistencies in the story that it just feels like a match for the sake of conveniences to be able to say there's a women's War Games match. Meanwhile, on the men's side, there's a lot of weird conveniences as well to make this happen, to rush the story. As we said, it feels quick, but there's no one that's going to say that Bloodline versus Bloodline doesn't make sense. You know what I think, Sancho? I think they were trying to build PFC to be a big ass group, powerful group to eventually lead to War Games, and it just didn't work. So now they're just like, okay, what are some main event caliber women that we can all of a sudden toss together? Because this feels so out of left field, but I'm going to be on board with it. But they better not ignore all of the details that matter in the people that are in this match.
I'm just excited. It's going to be a train wreck. There's going to be a big car crash at the end of it, brother.
I want Io Sky jumping off the cage wearing the trash can again.
There's going to be so much of that more. And you got to have Io in War Games, dude. She's so good. And, dude, Tiffany Stratton in War Games, hello.
That'll be good.
In the elimination
I want
chamber.
Candice LeRae in this match. I really do. Candice has been good.
The Poison Pixie, dude, is going to do something gnarly, something hilarious. And Raquel's going to be the powerhouse. You got to make up for the loss of star power of Rhea Ripley. And this is the way you do it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm being a nerd about it. And I agree. And I know that I am. But I know that the people that listen to a wrestling podcast probably are wrestling nerds as well that might be pointing out the same inconsistencies.
Someone did come into my chat and say that. They were like, could you see it? I was like, sure, I can. I could see the two women's champions losing. Sure.
I don't. How could you see the two? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to move on. How could you explain it to me? How can you see the two women's world champions are losing?
Because the other team's stacked with former champions.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Oh, Sancho, this is why you're unwatchable, brother. It's these ideas.
I love it, brother.
Unwatchable. Women's US title. Let's stick with the women. This is exciting.
Very exciting.
Are you wanting this to be a floater title, or do you want Raw to have an IC title?
I think you overcomplicate it if you add the United States and the IC together at the same time. I wouldn't mind it for like years down the road. You add an IC title when the women's division grows to a point where you need to, where all the women that are in NXT right now move up to the main roster, and then you have the women currently being the legends or the veterans. Like, yes, then you could have another mid-card title, but you need to build the prestige of the United States title. You got to have multiple women going after, multiple title changes happening until you say, this is a solidified United States title. Then you bring in the IC title. So, no, I don't think we need the IC title now. I want it to be a floater because there's just so much great women on both brands that could definitely carry the title. There's already the internet is picking who's going to be, and I love that Chelsea Green is politicking her way with Nick Aldis to try to be that United States women's champion. I think the belt itself is gorgeous. It's already in the top 10 belts of all time because the white stripe that has like a vanilla allure to it with the red, white, and blue of the United States.
It works with the flag
gorgeous.
vibe.
I even want it. I want to buy it. That's how much I like it so much because it looks so cool. My pick, Chelsea Green.
Okay. I think Chelsea Green is a great pick. I'll give you my pick too in a second. I'm okay with this also being a floater title for a bit. Because you could easily do, hey, for this PLE cycle, US title is going to be on the Smackdown brand, and the women's tag titles are going to be on the Raw brand, and just let them switch between, PLE cycles. I feel like that works. We also have plenty of precedent that this works because there used to only be one women's title, right? Until eventually they're like, all right, I think we have a healthy enough women's main event ecosystem. Like I think it was like a year or two later when they did like the definitive brand split, where they brought in the SmackDown Women's Championship and the Raw Women's Championship. I feel like, if you want to test the waters and see if how well this works and write out a proper blueprint as to how to manage a women's mid card, just do it with one title as opposed to trying to have to balance two. I'm okay with that. Two, I would like the champion to be awarded at a PLE, not at a random SmackDown or a Raw. Like, make this important, make this a PLE match, tournament, final, Survivor Series, whatever it might be, right? And finally, Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, especially if you're going to do it at Survivor Series, bro. She's from that area. She's from Victoria, and this is in Vancouver. It's literally like a 10-minute drive. This is her backyard. She's going to be a hometown gal at Survivor Series. Can I throw a suggestion that people hate that I also think is realistic? Charlotte Flair. Charlotte, I told you, I didn't say I like it. I didn't say I liked it. I said it's realistic. I've always said that there's 3 certain things in this world: death, taxes, and Charlotte Flair winning a championship when she comes back from injury. She does it every time, Sancho. Look back at all of her injuries as she comes back. Boom. Within 4 weeks, she wins a women's world championship. I could see the WWE putting this champion on an established first ballot Hall of Famer to try and instantly give it prestige. And then so that when she loses, it's like a big deal. You beat Charlotte for it. And it could be WWE once again just piling on the accolades for Charlotte, right? This is, look at this women's Grand Slam champion. What a first ever, first ever to do it. And that's, Charlotte's the WWE born and bred gal. I could see it. I don't like it, but I could see it.
Just imagine right now you talking and those green cartoon waves coming out of your mouth and it goes into my nose and it goes,
yeah.
Disgusting, sir. How can you say all that confidently and not feel disgusted with yourself?
I don't love it.
Considering that there is
you don't
so
see it
much
though?
No, because there's all the women that have been working so hard to get to this point. It's the reason why we have this mid-card title. It's not because for Charlotte to come back and win a title. Why does Charlotte need it? She doesn't need it. She doesn't need this prestige. She doesn't need this launch point to go into the title picture. She could walk in tomorrow and challenge Nia or Liv for the title any place, anytime they could do that. And so why eat up an opportunity to add prestige to a wrestler? I'm tired of these people coming out here and saying, we need to add prestige to the title. We need to give prestige to the title. Okay. Now, how about we give some prestige to the superstar that wins the title to be the first ever? And why not let it be Chelsea Green? I know you agree that you think it should be Chelsea, but Chelsea Green more than enough deserves this title opportunity. She took crazy bumps in the past with the dumpster bump and then the ladder bump that she took at Money in the Bank. This is an opportunity to give the love to Chelsea Green and to add some pizzazz to Piper and Chelsea. I know some people out there like Mr. Tesk want Mia to win it, Michin, but I don't think that's going to be the one. I think Michin is a great chaser of a title, and it'll be a great person to have the first feud with Chelsea Green after the title is won. But it's going to be great, dude. I think Lyra Valkyria will finally get an opportunity to get some shine in as a singles because they've been throwing her with Kenneth Chance and Carter, whatever those 2 ladies are. But I think and Katana Chance. I think this is an opportunity for them to do something awesome with the ladies and add something to do. Because when Bianca and Jade break up, Jade Cargill's not going into the title picture. She would go to the United States title picture, though. I think that'd be a great first stop for her.
She's if anybody has experience being a mid-card champion, it's Jade. She was the TBS champion for a very long time in AEW.
I agree. My question for you is, would you rather have it in a tournament? I know you said you don't care anything but a battle royal. So
anything but a battle royal. Yeah, I agree.
I think a tournament would be exciting to watch, and I think that would give an opportunity for the ladies to show that they could do something as it's more of a singles. I do like the idea of you flipping sides because I feel that a lot of women's mid-card has been tag team wrestling.
Sure, I agree. Like, yeah. I want this to be a tournament, and it'd be cool if they have a Raw side and a SmackDown side tournament bracket. And the final is somebody from Raw versus somebody from SmackDown.
That'd be kind of cool. Natalya makes it far? Natalya always makes it far in every one of these tournaments.
I don't think so. I don't think so because I feel like this tournament is going to be a showcase of the women's mid card, and like the future of women. And
you literally just wanted Charlotte to be the one that come in and Natalya.
No, I didn't. No. You're literally putting words in my mouth. I literally told you I don't want it. I'm just telling you it was a realistic option.
And Natalya not being in the tournament is not a realistic option. Get out of here.
She's not a realistic winner. I'm not saying she can't be in the tournament.
She'll go far.
Okay. All right. You're arguing with yourself. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm like, all right. And you're like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got a little interesting factoid.
Okay, brother.
The first ever WWE United States champion when the United States Championship was reactivated after the invasion angle in WCW. The first ever in 2003 or 2004. I forgot what year it was. I just looked it up. Eddie Guerrero. Okay. Who is our Eddie Guerrero on the women's side?
Bailey.
You think it's Bailey? So you think Bailey should be the United States champion?
Well,
that's what you're saying. You feel like Bailey should be the first. That's disgusting. Let's move on. We're moving on now to a different topic. No. You want Bailey to be. You want Bailey to be the United. Yeah. See what it sucks. See how much it sucks to have dumbass, stupid, fake arguments put in your mouth. That's what you were doing to me. That whole conversation. You want Bailey to be the inaugural United States champion, and now we're moving on to a different topic, and you're not going to get to defend yourself.
That's not the question. You said, who is our Eddie? And I was thinking about who loves Eddie a lot. Bailey always wears the trunks. Sasha Banks
do you want Bailey to be the first ever United States women's champion?
Stephanie Vacker? Like, who do you like?
No, the question is, in that time when Eddie was a working mid-card guy, cooking, having great matches, he was given the mid-card championship of Smackdown, which was the United States Championship. And I asked you who would be that person in the women's who's today.
A mid-card cooker, not
and you said Bailey, and that's who you want as you said Bailey. That's not what you said though. You want Bailey to be the first ever United States Women's Champion, and that is signed, sealed, and delivered here at the Wrestling is Cool podcast. That's all on tape.
Send it in.
Laminate it. Send it. Do you think it's Chelsea?
It's Chelsea, of course.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of weird that you said Bailey then.
You said who's our Eddie? And
sure.
I like Chelsea who loves Eddie.
I like Chelsea who loves Eddie. That's you.
And then I remember Eddie.
Oh, Eddie.
Oh, Eddie.
I used to do some funny things, that Eddie guy. Oh.
One day Ray is gonna confront us about our impression of Ray, and he's gonna be mad.
He's like, "Hey, I've been hearing those." All right.
I hate
oh man. Elimination Chamber.
No. I want to ask a question. You said United States champion.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell is LA Knight, bro?
Oh yeah, that's a better transition.
Where the hell is LA Knight, brother? He is had a banger match out there in Saudi.
Dude, he had 1 week. 1 week he's gone.
Hello, where is he? He's your United States champion. He's your mid card. What do you mean 1 week?
1 week.
Of course the Glaze factor is freaking out. We don't have anything to produce Glaze on, okay? 1 week, hello? He's coming off his best title defense of his entire career against Andrade and Carmelo. Does not warrant a 5 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute, 30-second, 5-second cameo on SmackDown, his show, the show that he's supposed to hold to be a champion on. Don't act like I'm freaking out on something that doesn't matter. Where is LA Knight?
No, I also thought it was weird that he wasn't there after, like you said, the best match quality-wise of the night at Crown Jewel. His biggest title defense since winning the United States Championship. A little odd. I will say, little odd that he wasn't on the show in any way, shape, or form. I feel like one of those DIY crash out segments could have been LA Knight. Even just like, you could have, look, something that WWE has gotten pretty good at is involving multiple stories and multiple characters that have no connection to one another in the same backstage segment. Because they do like the pan around. They have this storyline going on, and then they pan over here, and then something else is going on. You could have had LA Knight in at least a backstage moment, because just being entirely obsolete from the show, little bit bizarre, especially with how much momentum he's carrying right now.
I am looking for anything on the internet. Like, is he like giving a match coming up? But I see nothing. Everything about LA Knight is about LA Knight beating Carmelo and Andrade at Crown Jewel. And this is the internet, bro. The internet moves fast. I'm just saying a week's a long time for someone not to be on TV when they are the United States champion. Maybe have LA Knight present the United States women's title, like in terms of walking in with it to add the prestige of the vibe of like, hey, these are equivalent titles in our world. These are both United States champions type of vibe. It's strange to me. That's all. I'm a man of the people. The people want to see LA Knight. The people love to see LA Knight. And I don't even think he was in a dark match. And then somebody in my community went to that show, and the name was Philly, and he was like, I had no LA Knight at all, not even in the dark match. Come on, man.
Yeah, maybe he was just given a night off. It would have been kind of cool if after announcing the United States Championship, there's a backstage segment and then they ask him about the introduction of the Women's United States Championship, and then he used it as a way to hype both the Women's United States Championship and hype up his own, like, hey, the United States Championship, this is for a champion that's here to
I solved it.
Tell me.
Where is LA Knight? He's on a house show tour in England.
There you go.
But that ended on the 6th of November. So probably giving some time off. But still,
perhaps.
Give
That's
a segment.
why it's just not a big deal.
But didn't they do a segment for Cody Rhodes when he was out touring in Japan?
Yeah, but you're not going to sit here and compare Cody Rhodes to LA Knight.
Yes, I am. That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what the Glaze Factory does. We build up our boy no matter what.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Cody Rhodes so much better than LA.
Let's do some rapid fire conversations. Smackdown tag team division DIY. You feeling the DIY split?
No, I've seen it before. The only thing I did like it is that Ciampa destroyed Pretty Deadly by himself. Was kind of cool.
That was pretty cool. A lot of people saying, "Oh, that buried Pretty Deadly." Buried. They were already 6 feet under, brother. Like we took them a little bit deeper than they were already buried. It's okay. They weren't more damaged than they already were.
They defecated on the grave. Okay, that's what they did.
Yeah, that's all that was. That's all that was.
Nice.
I'm interested in it. It's a different play on the Gargano and Ciampa story because when it happened in NXT, there was no alluding to them breaking up. It just happened after a loss.
Do you feel like we need another tag team broke up, like when New Day's already having their thing? Does that feel like too same for you?
Yeah, especially if the plan is to eventually break up Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I'd be maybe a bit interested in seeing DIY as heels, both of them. Remember how that's kind of what happened with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, right? Where Candice was clear heel and Indy was like, no, I don't like this. Please stop. Don't do. And then eventually she just turned heel alongside Candice. Maybe that's what they do here. Gargano eventually is like, you know what? You are right. We have been little bitches recently. We need to win and we need to have like our dark side out and be violent and ruthless. Maybe that's how you replenish a major heel in the tag team division if you were to lose A-Town Down Under. Because here's the thing, though. I thought that spot would have made more sense for the Street Profits, because if anybody had more of a reason to turn heel because of the way that they've been getting screwed and losing, it was kind of the Street Profits. But they can't both turn heel. I think it's going to be DIY, just both of them. I don't think they turn on each other.
I've never seen Montez Ford get so angry before. And they didn't even do their catchphrase, "We want the smoke." Like the Motor City set them up for it. And it's like, we want it. You guys want a match? We want it. And I thought they were going to come back and say, we want the smoke. But they're just all business. I find it interesting that also there was an interview with Street Profits where it was saying that Bobby Lashley, they kind of allured, kind of mentioned him without mentioning him directly. That they tried to, take care of business on their own with another person and it didn't work out. Again, Street Profits heel turn was not their fault. Bobby just couldn't be a heel. So it's so interesting to see Bobby Lashley a heel in AEW, and I wonder how they're going to handle that. But it does help to have MVP as a mouthpiece to keep him from saying a promo that's not a very heel promo.
Correct.
I'm excited for Street Profits in that aspect as well. They are another player in the game. I just don't know if that's the swerve. Maybe it's not DIY that goes heel and it is Street Profits at the end of the day, because they've been teasing the DIY heel turn not only as a tag team. Remember when they snuck in and they stole and they stopped the Street Profits from winning? They were like, hey, that's the way it goes type of vibe. And what if it is the Street Profits? I don't know. I just feel like, why can't we just have tag teams be tag teams for a little while and just keep everything status quo? If there's so much turmoil with the Bloodline, why can't we just have something black and white, clear as day on the tag team division for a little while?
Okay. I'm okay with whatever it is that they plan on doing. I just don't think we need a breakup. I feel like a heel turn would be where I prefer for it to go.
Yeah.
That's all. Elimination Chambers in Toronto. I'm going to go.
Oh, you're going to go?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go.
You got one cam, you got your stick cam, you got your POV cam.
That's going to be the play. I'm going to make another Elimination Chamber vlog in the style of the SummerSlam one, what's nice is that it's in my neck of the woods. I think everything was saying that this was supposed to be in the UK. I'm curious in the backstage business dealings how that fell through and how Toronto ended up getting it last minute. But Cena's got to be in the show, right?
Especially you.
It's of course they're like, yeah, we need Santi with his 55 cameras, and the way to do it is by having the show in Toronto. But we got to get a Cena match, man. If we're building up to Cena having a match at WrestleMania, I think it'd be cool if he qualifies for a world championship match or something by winning Elimination Chamber, brother. I think it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there with 10 cameras and all to see it.
What they need to do for John Cena's final run, where he can't be Superman. He needs to feel like, you remember that Superman where he was a human for a little bit, where he gave up his powers?
Yeah, that's a lame ass Superman. Nobody wants that.
He has to be lame ass Superman. I hate to break it to you, brother.
Nah, he's gonna be Superman.
I have to relate to the cowboy on this last run, like last heist type of vibe. This is John Cena can't be hunky dory. I want to put everybody over before I leave. I need John Cena to go, I want to break the record. He needs to be like right out the gate, right out the rip. Day one of his retirement run, my job is to break the record and beat Ric Flair's record. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I believe I can do. So that way, he has opportunities where he just falls short here, just falls short at the Rumble, just falls short at various opportunities. John Cena's running out of time. What if John Cena becomes Money in the Bank? And then instead of cashing it in on somebody, he says right out the gate, I want a title shot against you. There's so many avenues for John Cena to reclaim his break the record. And I think we need to have a John Cena that's lame ass Superman. I'm sorry to break it to you. John Cena can't put people over. It is a fact of life. I'm sorry. He can't do it. People like you won't accept that. I'm sorry. But what I will accept is John Cena, not the same guy, trying his best to put on a show for his fans, his retirement tour, puts so much pressure on himself to win, and he just can't seem to win because he has this unfound pressure that, like Gunther, the psyche messes up. He doesn't have it anymore. But then, bro, he does it, and then he wins. And you're like, oh my God, the whole time, John Cena, you're the man. He's too high, you bring Ric Flair record. That is what's going to happen for you, dude. And that's going to be the best route for you as a John Cena fan. Speaking of John Cena, let's go ahead and take a peek down John Cena's Twitter account. These are thoughts. If we neglect our care and needs, we risk being far less useful to self and those around us.
Beautiful. It's a thing of beauty.
Yeah. Do you feel that that scenario?
I like it.
That convince you of the lame ass Superman scenario?
Yeah. Like I always like the idea of. I think you put it the best by saying the aging cowboy in his last heist. I really do like that idea. I'm also totally fine with us getting comic book John Cena back. I'm also fine with that too. Whatever, man. I'm just here for the ride. I'm here for the zip line. That's what I'm here for. I'm just here for the zip line, and I'm ready for wherever the zip line takes me.
So you're going front row? Are you gonna try to get front row, fifth row, hard cam? Where are we going? Where can I see you?
I definitely want to be hard cam, front row, dude. In anything related to the city of Toronto is like ridiculous. It's the one of the most expensive cities on the frickin' planet for anything entertainment related. So I think that's going to be out of the question.
Why don't you write a letter to the mayor?
Do you know who I am? Where's the mayor at?
Put you in front row, brother. Are you gonna? If you were in front row, would you stand or sit?
You have to sit. They make you sit. They make you sit until like it makes sense for everybody to be stood up, but like they make you sit for the whole show. That's the rules of front row, as far as I know.
You know what's the best seats though? Is those angled seats where you were at Survivor Series, because you were like on the outside and you could stand in the aisle a little bit.
Yeah, that was nice.
Seat.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Sancho, I think that's bringing us towards the end of the show. Shall we get going with the new heat order?
New heat order. And by the way, if anyone out there has feedback about the Patreon, let us know. We're always open to feedback. The biggest thing as well, Santi, that we never talked about is if you join the Patreon, you get this show ad free.
That's true.
Really hit that. You get the show ad free, and you get the new heat order. For those of you new to the Wrestling School podcast, we talk about who has the buzz, who has the fun, and who is making us tune in week after week. It's not necessarily the best superstar, but it's the superstar that gets us going. and maybe having the best views. Dude, thank God you got banned on TikTok. Views are booming for me.
Glad my misery is your success.
Good game. Yeah. Did you like that in review? You like that Smackdown in review?
I hated
Started
it
off
so
with
much.
the Titanic recorder because you have a recorder, and then it shows your band little thing, and then it fades in.
Oh, I saw it. I saw it.
Oh, yes.
Great. New
Number
Heat
10.
order?
Yes. Number 10, LA Knight. Number 9, Io Sky. Number 8, Randy Orton. Number 7, Kevin Owens. Number 6, Liv Morgan. Number 5, Bronson Reed. Number 4, Solo Sikoa. Number 3, Roman Reigns. Number 2, Jey Uso. And number 1, Sami Zayn. Dude, we were hot for Sami Zayn coming after Crown Jewel, brother.
I'm less hot.
Ooh.
I'm less hot.
Number 1, I am going to start the bidding, sir, with the one and only Seth Rollins.
Number 1?
Yes. Will he, won't? Who is he going to be? Seth Rollins. Unless you have a better person. I'm open to all ears. I mean, I know Damian's up there. I know Gunther's up there.
Well, Roman, that whole episode of SmackDown was surrounding him.
Yeah. But Roman, what's interesting about Roman is that he needs to learn how to play with his friends. He needs to learn how to play again. He's a single child, essentially. Got to learn how to play with your friends.
I'm going to disagree with everything that we've been saying. I think that we are just wrong. It's Kevin Owens, pile driver. It's that. That's been the talking point of SmackDown.
That was such a clean pile driver too. Super safe. And I love the staring of Kevin Owens, like looking at his work, shocked what he has become.
And number
Kevin
2 is
Owens.
Randy. It's still Randy.
Really?
Yeah, of course, man.
Over the bloodline.
Yes. Yeah. That was the biggest talking point of the week. Randy and Kevin Owens, the pile driver, everything. The selling of Randy. Randy coming out, heated promo, demanding Kevin Owens.
No, the biggest the biggest superstar of the week was cocaine. That was the biggest talking point.
Of course.
The wrestler. YouTube, the wrestler. Number 3.
I think this is where we can go with Bloodline. Or Seth. I
kind of want to put Solo Sikoa.
I think, well, if we were going to go Bloodline, I was actually going to suggest Solo number 1 over all the other members of the Bloodline.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I would go Solo's Bloodline. He's over on Raw as well, politicking.
Yeah, and he looks great. I think he looks better on Raw than SmackDown. Isn't that weird?
Maybe. I don't think so.
Like, I look better on Twitch than I do on YouTube.
You think that's what it is?
I think so.
Think the purple does it for you?
Yeah, I think so. Looks great in my skin tone.
Maybe.
Like if I change the red, it just looks weird. You want to change it to red? I'll change it to red.
No. Actually, I'm totally cool. Don't care.
Too late. Change it to red.
Literally don't care.
We'll change it to red.
Didn't ask for that. All right.
See?
Oh yeah, you look dumb.
Yeah, I look.
You look
weird.
stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll keep this one. Number 4, Solo Sikoa is at 3. Then number 4, do we put Seth Rollins here?
Yeah. You know who's not going to be on this list? LA Knight.
Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to taint the glaze?
Taint the glaze? Ugh. Ugh, brother.
You got promoted to the master glazer. Now you're tainting the glaze. You glazed LA Knight the hardest last week. It was impressive.
All right.
Okay. Number 5. Tired of hearing me in stereo. Number 5. Anyone from the women's side of things that we want to put here? Or are we going to stick with Roman and the boys? OG Bloodline? Sami
Nothing
Zayn?
on the women's side this week was I like,
Really?
oh man, like
Nothing?
nothing.
Nothing?
Nada.
Oh. Wow. Not even Jade and Bianca?
That if anyone makes it, it's them. That's it. If anyone makes it, it's Jade and Bianca. But I don't think we're at the point of talking about them yet. I think if anything, they're lower on the list, if at all. We'll see.
Okay, so on the list previously, let's just take a look. Very expensive graphics. We've spent more money on Patreon value than we do in graphics here. Let's see. We got Bronson Reed. We have Liv Morgan. We have Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Io Sky. And we already said no to LA Knight. So that means Roman and Jay.
I think honestly, Bronson's ahead of both of them. I think Bronson should be the next one right now.
Dude, I did not like that promo he did. I know it was simple and it was great, but he's still at that point where action's better for him than words. You know what I mean?
What about the brawl? The brawl was fine.
Yeah, the brawl was fine, but people start going, what? To Bronson Reed and that.
That's not his fault.
Yes, it is. You need to be so scary enough where people don't want to tell you what.
Dude, at this point, American wrestling fans will what the Pope.
What? I saw that movie, by the way. The Conclave.
Movie?
It's a Conclave where they
I heard it's
how
good.
they did. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Number 6. I kind of want to maybe 6. Cody.
What did he do this week? He just appeared to help
Randy.
To put him in the ambulance? You think that's worthy of top 10? No.
Well, you're down. You literally shunned the whole women's division.
No,
You
okay.
Amish shunned them.
I did not Amish shun them. Unshun.
Yeah, you did. I mean, Io had a great showing.
Gunther with his great acting.
I think number 6, Damian.
Okay, you want to go Damian Gunther?
Best promo he's ever done. Yes.
Any love for Ludwig?
No, I feel that Ludwig without Giovanni is not the same.
Okay, all right.
I think they tried really hard to build up Ludwig. I keep saying Ludwig in terms of with the Sheamus feud, with the Pete Dunne type of thing. And I think it's like when he went up against Damian Priest, I'm like, he's not going to win.
Sure.
There's no way. I was shocked that Kaiser did get offense in against a Damian Priest that coming off one of his hottest promos. I was hoping that Damian would just destroy Kaiser. Like, that's the way it should have been. Sure. But instead, it was different. Damian Priest. No love for Dom, huh? Okay.
Not this
Dom
week.
At 8?
I would say we got to talk Wyatt 6, Final Testament.
Ooh, Xavier as well.
Xavier.
I like Xavier a lot.
There was just better stories for the men this week. Way better.
8, Miz? I'm much more excited.
Could we do Miz and Final Testament in the same thing? They're aligned together.
The Final Miz?
The Final Miz. Let's do that.
Ooh, the Final Miz.
The Final Miztament.
We were flying.
I want the Final Miztament. I will not continue on with this podcast.
The Final Miz sounds so much cooler.
The Final Miztament, Sancho.
Let us know in the comments down below.
You have my demands.
Let us know in the comments down below. The Final Miz or the Final Miztament. Number 9, Wyatt 6.
Yeah, and then Xavier Woods.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean? I wasn't shunning the women. They just didn't have as interesting as plots as the men this week. The mid card of the men's had some great stories.
The man that's not allowed on the train has put look. Dugga.
All right, read it out.
Number 10. All right, yeah.
Go.
Like, go. Number 10, Xavier Woods. Number 9, Wyatt 6. Number 8, the Final Miz for now.
Missed him.
Number 7, Gunther. Number 6, Damian Priest. Number 5, Bronson Reed. Number 4, Seth Rollins. Number 3, Solo Sikoa. Number 2, Randy Orton. And number 1, Kevin Owens, brother. Yeah. Was that expecting one of us in the wreckage?
Yes, brother. They're expecting one of us in the wreckage.
Hey, by the way,
right,
I'm excited to see how many of these $15 patrons coming over to the backstage. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I hope it's all of them.
I hope so. And if you have any issues, please hit us up.
You're paying for it.
You shouldn't. Please take advantage. We are going to do Ready to Rumble this week. We will let you know in the Discord, in the backstage, when that's going to be. But it's going to be our first movie to watch together as a community.
Yes, brother. All right, let's get to the end of the show. This is the part of the show where we thank our producers, our $15 patrons, who, again, remember to join the Discord. All of the information will be in the Patreon for you. So that extra special thank you goes out to the following people: Sancho Mania, Running Wild, F.U. Santi, I'm First, Nick Harvey, 2022, Benjamin, Aaron Garcia, Akira Kemp, Alexander Dawson, Alan Crockett, Anita Maxwin, Ashton Davis, Asperlitz, Ozzy Kingslayer, Austin Baker, Austin Gregory, Austin Singleton, Austin Theories Theorists, and that's just a theory. R.I.P. Matt Pat. Austin Weaver, dead. Authentic Chocolate, Bailey Saunders, Ben Calloway, Barry B. Hostile, Big Poppy Sasquatch, Brady Keaton, Brandon, Bry Guy, Bryce Burt, Bunker Jonesy, loves WWE, Caleb Lee, Cameron Dodd, Cameron Noel, Carlos Gonzalez, CB, Chupapi, Chimchars Collectibles, Christian Billick, Christian Royal, CM Puff, Colin Roach, Connor Williamson, Craig Cogburn, Danny the Chat GF, Dar, DJ Broadnax, DJ S, Dumsky, Dylan Kana, Isach. How about them boys, Sancho? Another L. Fernando Madrigal, Fletcher Walpole, Forever Wrestling. Cowboys suck. Franklin Everett, Gamer Escape, I should say. George Valdez, Gilbert Deans, GXA Man. I should read all of these in the Rey Mysterio voice. Hey, we got Heartfelt, Issa David, Issa Means again. No, I'll die.
You're gonna burn your voice out. Yeah.
It's Mr. Jag Ghibli, Jacob Pena, Jacob Staffel, Jake Chavoya, James Brian Balago, Jassim Alcazar, Javier Arenas, Javier Rodriguez, Jalen Steele, Jeremy C. Moreau, Jesse, Joe Velez, Jolly Green Giant, Jordan Lynch, Josby, Joseph Pointer, Josh, Juan Verduzco, Judson Daniels, Justin Courtwright, Justin Perkins, Caleb Cunningham, Kian Dean, Kasuz, Kawadi Rick Boogs, Kyrie Lawrence, Lo Shifu, Lions are winning the Super Bowl, Liquid Chris,
No, they're not.
Long.
You know what, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Lion fans, chill. All right, you're having a great season. Let's see how far you go in the playoffs. All right, chill. You have Jared Goff as your quarterback. Guy guaranteed to throw a couple of picks. You luckily beat who did they beat? With a field goal after all the picks he threw.
Texans.
Who did they beat? You luckily beat the Texans. All right, chill.
The best team in Texas, right?
Shut up.
By the way, this is who you interrupted, which now has even more attention.
Sure.
Long Diddy Dildos. Diddy speaking. How can I oil you? See what you did? I literally could have gone through that one so quickly and it would have just been lost in the mix, but now it's a headliner.
We're gonna let him in the backstage area. No, get out.
Long Diddy Dildos. Diddy speaking. How can I oil you? Now has a spot in the Discord. Good job. Long Dong Undertaker, Luke Parker, Marty YSM, YCSM, Matt Roddy, Matthew Dollar, Mekki, Michael Parnell, Mika Kasi, Mikey Rada, Mitchell Harris, Muhammad Al-Banai, Monte Moore, Neb, Nellen Zach, Nicholas Kyle, Raffle, Reaper God, Ricky Dutcher, Rocky B, Royce Ruffo, Riley, Santi Giannetti, and Sancho Michaels. Santi treats Sancho like Michael Cole treats Dom. Saudi Rick Boogs, Screamo Scott, Seth, Shaggy WWE, Shane, Shawn Michaels right nostril, Sidney Floyd, Sip God, Sir Nightmare, Skylar Breshears, Slimsky, Solo, FU. Well, actually, it says fuck you. Spicy Nugget, Stephen Rhodes, Stone Cold Peace Austin, Stucky, Sugar Shane, Super Malachi Galaxy, SVR Spoothy, the final boss, the first Patreon, I Crazy Dude, the Gaming Freak YouTube, the Undertaker's Son, TM, Thomas Goss, Tobias Burnett, Tom Lehman, Trent Head, 2 Crown, Vault Hunter TTV, 1 Pablo III, Wesley Simpson, White Mexican, Zach Griffin, Zach Butcher, Zergzito, and Lord BB&J. Thank you all so much for supporting us in what we do here at the Wrestling is Cool headquarters. All of you whose names I read out, remember, you now have access to the backstage Patreon Discord. And if you're a $5 patron, you're just going to get even more content. So it's good to be a patron right now. It's good to be a patron. It's good life right now. All right, folks. Thank you. There you are. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Goodbye, everybody.